So, another day, another stream. As all of you know, today we're talking about Balenciaga's latest show. We're talking about the Resort 2025 collection or the Spring 25 collection, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go into all the looks, the inspiration, all the background into the show. And by the end, we'll talk about our conclusions. If you like the collection, if you don't, what you think about the collection. So it should be really, really fun. But anyway, how is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing? Also, for Micah and Dami, I'll post the link in the chat right now. So you guys can join the stream. Someone say hello to my fellow urbans. I'm doing really good, thank you. I'm doing great. Shout out to sunny Florida. Stay away from the alligators. Elle, you're on time. You're on time this time. You're very much on time. Following this collection with a collaboration with Under Armour is insane. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. What's my audio saying?
It's decent.
Because you know, I've been trying to be on that podcast P lately.
You've been so excited since you've been running this microphone.
Yeah, fam, because I didn't like how the audio was playing back. I sounded like I was underwater compared to you. And why would I be doing that when I have a mic literally here with me?
Right. Just before Dami comes, by the way, before we get into the show, Micah, what did you think about just based off the looks you saw?
My headphones died. 1 second.
He said his headphone died. Micah's too busy using his headphones in the sauna, so he doesn't have any charge left. Some of these looks are sugar mummy cheek. Demna thinks he's slick. Henry Lowe says this collection got me triggered. Why did the collection get you triggered? What about the collection made you triggered? Also, let me send the link to Dami. Let me send it to him on Instagram in the meantime, so we can jump straight into the collection.
Yeah. My headphones died, so I had to get the...
Okay, so Henry says, bro, it's not just it. I find it incredibly saturated and there's no real development season on season right now. Yeah, that tends to be the case and like the conclusion that we come to with every Demna collection, especially in like recent times. So yeah. Also, Henry, if you want to join the live, by the way, I'll like drop the link and you can like follow the link and join the live stream. But when you join the live stream, you have to close the YouTube tab. Otherwise,
or just mute it. I normally just mute it.
Or just mute it,
As I'm a chat nerd, I like to still type in the chat. But I'll give you guys a quick rundown of Henry. He's a buyer at a big retailer. Obviously, we can't be baiting out his place of employment. But at a big retailer, he's got a channel as well. He's significantly more consistent than I am. So, you know, when I don't drop, you can always go.
I mean, that's not hard.
I beg to differ. Thank you very much. Plus, I've got lots of big videos in the works, guys.
Right.
What one, Dami?
Okay, he's here. Hello.
Okay, so nice.
Hello.
Dami Lara, what one?
I'm alright still. Thank you for using my full name, fam. People think
you've got to.
See, Henry said no doxing, Mike.
I didn't dox him. I didn't dox him.
The first thing
no doxing, please.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you for inviting me to the live. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you turn your mic up, Dami Lara?
I can hear you.
Like a tiny bit. if that's possible.
No, not really. Give me a sec.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
but someone's got a bit of
your audio
background
is
noise.
probably
Is it
the
you,
best
Henry?
actually. I think it's Dammy that has the background noise.
Oh, okay, so that.
I've just got trusty AirPods in.
Yeah, I hear
So
it.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
All right, calm. That's good. That's good, fam. How's
We're
everyone?
cooking.
Let me see something.
Well, good man. How are you?
Good.
Yes,
So
calm,
before we get into it, I just want to know like all of your thoughts on the Balenciaga show, just in general. Michael, we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, we were on the phone before this, fam. So,
Yeah, but it's just for the sake of the stream, not for me.
It's for the stream. Nah, guys, but I think according to my calculations, we're six seasons deep now, 6 collections deep. Sorry, into mid Balenciaga. You know, all the collections are looking the same. It's rough out here. I think this was the collection that really solidified to me that I don't think Demna has any plans of changing anytime soon. I think this is just the direction he's going in now, kind of like recycling these ideas.
Yeah, also,
and
Michael,
styles.
before you continue, Henry, I think there's background noise from your end.
Oh, let me sort it out.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
Michael, continue.
Yeah, it was Henry. Yeah. Like in terms of like a lot of the styles and silhouettes that he uses, I feel like for us it's not that interesting anymore. And he always I feel like the interviews he does outside of the collections always makes it sound like the next collection is going to be some big change, or like he acts as if he's never done like a lot of the stuff before. That's how I feel. And then you look at the collection and you're like, it's almost as if his words don't line up with what you're seeing, and it makes you feel like you're going crazy, because he'll be like, yeah, I've never really been one for doing resort or cruise collections. And then you'll look and he's done like the last 4. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's literally a resort. So you start questioning yourself, like, am I going crazy? But yeah, that's how I feel. And this is one of those collections where normally there's a lot of stuff on the runway I like, even if I don't think it's a good collection or if I think it's a recycled collection. Normally there's stuff on the runway I still like, but I wasn't feeling the stuff as much as I normally am this season either, which didn't help. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah. Dammy, what did you think?
I liked it. I was trying to find a way to dislike it.
Why? Why did you want to dislike it?
Why? If you
I wanted
like
to
it, like it. Yeah.
I'm joking, obviously, but yeah, no. Everybody dislikes I don't know, Balenciaga, and I'm decidedly against disliking them. To be fair, I'm gonna be the subversive one and just like the resort collection. For one, it's a resort collection, so like I don't know whether there's much to dislike. You know, I don't see the innovation in resort collection or cruise collections for that matter. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked quite a few of the pieces actually. I know we're gonna get into the looks later, or even now, fairly, but yeah, I like the remixing and him having a thematic that he plays into, because obviously when you're adding things that people haven't seen before, that is the way that you want to design. It looks like, oh, they're getting new things every season, but then when it starts to be consistent, people are like, oh, where's all of the new things? It's like, no, you guys have seen what I like to create. So yeah, that's partially why I like this collection. But you know, let Henry go.
Wait, before we dive into things, just out of curiosity, even though you liked the collection, do you feel like Balenciaga is formulaic? Because that's the perfect word I'd use to describe it, in my opinion, at the moment. Do you feel like
that's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same way that I feel like Rick is formulaic and Yoji is formulaic, but I like their formula. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Henry, what go on?
I feel like I've already said in the chat, but it just triggers me a lot, to be honest. I just feel like I just feel like there's a complete lack of any sort of development there, and I hate to be
Yeah.
the guy who keeps on bringing it up, but after the whole controversy, there was this statement that they were going to go back to sort of more concentrating on design and things coming out
Right.
of the label, and I feel like there's just maybe been one collection of that, and then it's just like, oh, we'll just go back to the tried and tested stuff. And I think when you see a lot of emerging designers and what they're doing, and like the innovation in a lot of brands, it's really almost a bit sad to see not a whole lot of newness coming from Balenciaga. And don't get me started on Under Armour as a collaboration. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand the Scousers love a head to toe Under Armour look, but yeah, I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the runway show on the screen and we can kind of talk through it. But yeah, I think it's kind of like Demna's formula. The thing about him is what I find interesting about what he does is everything but the clothes. So like the show is interesting, the accessories are always really good. The way he presents things always good, the sets are always interesting. Obviously this show is held in Shanghai, and it was actually behind the Museum of Art, Pudong in Shanghai, which is interesting because like you get this kind of view of the city that's really nice. So those things are always interesting. But then when it gets to the clothes, it's like, oh, we've seen this the past 5 seasons. Like that's how I feel every single collection.
Yeah, I think I'm interested in this. I'm invested in this stream particularly now because I feel like Dami's gonna be our voice of reason as to telling us, you know, like
it's nice to have like both sides.
Yeah,
of it, right?
maybe by the end I'll feel completely differently about the collection. Who knows?
I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's always pieces in the collections that I like and enjoy, and I think there's good pieces of work there. But I just,
but statistically, that's going to happen, isn't it? When there's probably 150, 200, 300 pieces in the collection.
Exactly.
Yeah, go Dami.
Yeah, no, there's like over 120 pieces, I think. Yeah, it's like 56 looks. So yeah, if you just like
so if you crunch the numbers, that's like what 250 pieces, no? Including accessories and things.
I mean, it depends how you look at it because like the cat eye sunglasses are across so many looks. They had like Under Armour earrings that they use across so many looks. So it's like looks repeat. So obviously those would count as just like one piece, but they're used across looks.
Yeah,
I do love the cap with this brim that's got the sort of, I don't know what you call it, the side sections. I think that's really cool. And then, of course, the PS hat's really, really sick from previous collections. But
yeah,
I feel like if I'm looking at a collection and going, yeah, the accessories are cool, something's missing there.
Especially if a few seasons or collections in a row that you've been saying that, the accessories are cool. The accessories are cool. I think as I'm looking at the runway as well, how I feel is like, because to me, a lot of it has felt repetitive. By this point, there's already an earlier iteration of an idea that I prefer as well. So like when you were pointing out that cap, in my head, I was thinking of, you know, when he did that cap with the almost like earrings on it. I forgot the proper word.
Yeah, the pierce cap. That's why I was mentioning. The pierce cap. That's just a better version of it, right?
To me, that's just like a better version. So I feel like a lot of the ideas as well are like more intriguing to me. Like obviously it's not exactly the same, but like these 10XL sneakers that he's done for this collection, I'm always gonna pick a triple S over that any day. Like I just think like the triple S is more interesting. They're not quite apples and apples, but you know what I mean. Like it's a similar sort of idea.
A lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
On collection.
Keezy is hella. Everyone finna be hella tall after these boots drop. Yeah, they wrote in on the Instagram page. They say that these like platform sneakers are 16 centimeters high, and the boots are 16 centimeters high too. So they're like really high.
I'd be intrigued to see what everybody thinks about the shoebox.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about that. The like shoebox bag thing, and it's funny because remember Demna around that time that you're talking about, Henry, was when Demna said the whole, oh, I don't do any gimmicks, I don't do anything for marketing. And it's like, if you look at this look, for example, that's the epitome of like gimmicky marketing.
Yeah. I touched on that. I did a quick TikTok today to just sort of talking about it because,
Yeah.
like I said, I was very annoyed about it and had to vent. But yeah, I just think I feel like we're almost in a bit of an era now where gimmicks are just so outplayed and outdone that
Yeah.
everything that could possibly be done has been done, and I just think it's a really good point for us all to start concentrating on like just quote unquote good design and letting the
Yeah.
product speak for itself. It's a difficult like economic climate. People of all areas don't have that much money, so like you really need to sell the product, and rather than profiting off what is, I guess, shock factor potentially, it's better just to make the product really, really good. But
Yeah.
I can understand why it works from a marketing side.
Even these looks here, those are digitally printed dresses, and then the heels. I kind of showed it on the Instagram, but it's all one piece. So the socks and the heel are like one piece.
Oh, cool. I did particularly like that look with the sort of elongated zip up knit. I thought that was quite strong.
Yeah. Let me see some of the comments. The collection has been done about 3 times already, just more high price Hot Topic clothes and Demna boots. The craftsmanship, that's definitely a question for Micah, because Micah has more experience than I think most people with like Balenciaga pieces. Micah, what did you say on like the quality of the Balenciaga pieces? I know you own quite a few things.
I like the stuff I have, but I'm a few seasons behind at this point. Well, a few collections behind at this point. Like, I don't have any of the newer stuff, and I guess as well, like, yeah, the quality of like ready to wear is always kind of the same. I don't think I have any like runway pieces. Although these days they don't do anything on the runway too dissimilar from their ready to wear, I suppose. But I don't know. To be honest, I've been looking at the shoebox trying to work out like if it's like leather or something, because you know how brands are these days.
Yeah, I think it is leather. I think it's actually on the Instagram page, so I could actually check.
Yeah, I'd love to see a bit more
Let me
detail
pull
in
it
it.
up on
I've
my
not
phone.
seen it. Is that a jacket bag?
Yeah, it is leather. On the
I
Instagram page, it says it's leather, and there's a magnetic closure, so it has a magnetic closure, which makes sense because obviously if you're holding it as a bag, you don't want it to just be opening like a normal shoebox, or your stuff would just like fall out really easily.
You know what? I mean, they do it every season, but let's give credit where credit is due. I do like how they post every single piece on their Instagram like this.
Yeah.
I think, and like actually just break it down a little bit. I think it's a nice touch because obviously, especially on the times where you actually do get to go to runway or whatever, everyone walks past you so quick, you don't even know what you've looked at, kind of thing. So it's nice
Exactly.
that you can quickly go to Instagram and see like an actual breakdown of what it is. I think that's a nice.
I always say that. I think the only advantage with being at the show is you see stuff closer. So you might get a better sense of like details that have been added to the clothes that you might not see in a video. But in terms of like actually analyzing a collection, it's always better to do it online because you can look at images, look at the clothes, you can go back and forth. Whereas when you're there, it's just like they walk past quickly and that's it.
The thing is as well, let me hear your guys' opinion on it. So I feel like for a traditional heritage or legacy house the size of Balenciaga or bigger, there's a clear distinction between resort and cruise collections and like the typical season collections. But I feel like with the last few of Balenciaga, they've all been kind of similar. Like there's not a clear distinction between them, to me at least. What do you guys think?
Right.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think resort is usually like your holiday collection, right? I don't know if I'm just
well, that's why it was.
That's
what it's supposed to be.
But it doesn't really give that sense of holiday. But I guess does it have to be a resort collection anymore. I feel like it's potentially just another way for them to drip feed more product and just get people buying more and more new stuff.
Right.
I mean, Henry, are they buying it as a buyer? Spill their tea for us.
No, not at all, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I thought the case was always that Chinese consumers buy a lot of the clothes that no one else buys. That's why also in an interview with Vogue in this collection, Demna was talking about how even though he doesn't like to do location shows, it still makes a lot of sense for Balenciaga to show in Shanghai because Chinese consumers are very, very important to the success of the brand, right? So yeah, it's very interesting.
I think in general, there's a lot of not expansion, but a focus on the area for a lot of brands. I think is one key, I guess, area that is seeing growth in an otherwise like stagnant industry.
Right.
And I think touching on how you're saying about arguably this customer buys the product that others don't, it's important to probably draw the obvious reason that there's, like, especially in the UK, when we're talking about how well it's selling, there's no tax-free incentive or like shopping anymore, and that has a big impact on how it performs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Can you guys
Yeah,
hear me?
because it was Rishi
Yeah.
that did that, right? Rishi took away the sort of tax-free incentives alongside all of some other weird things he did. But yeah, we won't get into that.
And
Yeah.
slight side
Maybe
point.
stick away from the politics right now.
Yeah.
I was talking.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but you know,
I was talking to
I didn't want to say
someone.
because I've
What do you
You
think
go,
about
you
these
go,
looks,
you go.
by the way? These like ripped tights, these like already pre-ripped tights. Because once again, I always have to mention Demna is always telling us that he doesn't do gimmicks. And this here is like a bag made into a jacket. It's just like
It looks like someone's trying to hide. But
To be fair,
yeah,
the
don't
tights
know.
are probably made of something else that's like more durable. Because otherwise, it
I
just
don't know.
doesn't
I
make-
feel like they look like they were printed to look like they were ripped, but I don't know if
Yeah, they
that's
could be.
me
They
hoping.
fully
Yeah.
could be.
I
Can
do
ask you
think
guys a
some of these
question now?
dresses and stuff are really impressive.
I wanna interject now.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
on.
of course, man.
All right, has anyone thought about why the resort collection looks like full winter collections when it's a holiday collection?
I just
And
presumed
it's
that the
funny
holiday was a different
'cause-
location.
It's funny because they called this spring, like Balenciaga called this a spring collection. So it's even weirder that there's jackets and a lot of outerwear.
No, I just presumed since they're like, I just thought maybe the holiday was in the UK. Because I guess if you'd gone on holiday in the UK, you don't need shorts. Like,
Need a jacket all the time.
Yeah, also Leo about Leo said the dress is such a fucking hideous interpretation of Christobal's codes. So
yeesh.
that's harsh. I will say that I did like the last, the pink dress. That's kind of like the last dress in this collection. I did find that quite interesting. Because my understanding is that it was made out of like loads of different old pink plastic bags, like upcycled to make a dress. And then it was also like a reference to, I think, Fall Winter 1965 Balenciaga, where he has that like ostrich feathers dress. Yeah. And I think it's kind of like a good use case to show that upcycling doesn't always have to be boring. Or, sometimes when people think of upcycling, you think of just clothes patched together. That there's more interesting things that can be made through upcycling. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And just in general, like, we know every single Demna collections, the last few looks are reference to Cristóbal Balenciaga's work.
Yeah.
And they're more like couture level, like in terms of construction and craft. That's kind of like part of his formula of like making runway shows.
Can I speak on why, I feel
tell us.
Yeah, of course.
the winner. Well, like it depends on where people spend holidays, like, but I do look at consumer psychology and things of that nature, and where certain consumers are going nowadays. Like, let's say parts of Dubai, um, Texas is also a good place, and other more Mediterranean areas that aren't, let's say, Africa per se, and some of the climates there are actually changing in general.
Mhm.
So the first thing, the surface level thing, is like it's a commentary on climate change, right? And then the secondary thing is understanding that these areas like Texas and like Dubai are doing cloud seeding.
Mhm.
And cloud seeding essentially is making rain from, putting silver nitrate into the sky. I do believe it's silver nitrate, right? But someone else can correct me if I'm wrong. It's quite easy look up. Generally, in that time, this phase of our lives, when we're talking about holidays, we're generally talking about summer wear, swimwear, ski wear, whatever it is, right? But doing all of this winter wear is not just a commentary, but it's based on the common lifestyle of the person, right? Like just based on the amount of layers that we're seeing, regardless of whether it's like spring and it's like cold climate, or whether it's like full winter and a really cold climate. What I see in general in this Balenciaga collection is, and I think it was in the previous resort collection as well, is not just a commentary, but understanding the lifestyle of the more higher end Balenciaga consumer that is more consistently buying. Now, do I think, to answer the question of the live, is good Balenciaga back? No, I don't necessarily think good Balenciaga is back, even though that's like a loaded statement, right?
Mhm.
But I would say a more stable, consistent Balenciaga is back in terms of, the in quotes, the rehashing that Demna is doing is based on his hits. He's doing like not just the greatest hits, but things that are proven to work in different ways. And sometimes Rick does it, and nobody really bats an eye. And that's calm. Like people love Rick because of the way that his business is run or whatever. And but for this Balenciaga, especially considering Corinne isn't doing the best anyways, it's better to stay what's tried, tested, and true than rock the boat, because we all saw what last time they tried to rock the boat, and yeah,
And
our
with
generation
Gucci,
generally
they
thinks
tried to rock the boat majorly, and it
yeah,
backfired.
yeah, everybody thinks Balenciaga is cooked, and now regardless of what they put out, at least for me, it's like a political commentary on what people think Balenciaga is, rather than what the clothes actually are, right? Which is a resort collection. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, though?
I think it's interesting you touched on that point of like, Rick Owens rehashing certain ideas. I feel like for me at least, the reason I kind of see a difference between that and Balenciaga is just because we have to remember that like Balenciaga, that style that Demna really popularized, or kind of popularized itself on the run that they went on during like 2017, 18, 19, 20, became so popular to the point that like a lot of those styles I feel like you can get at other houses. In terms of like a lot of houses, even if they don't put it on the runway, they just started making that style of ready to wear, the oversized. All these brands started making oversized hoodies, oversized sweatpants. Whereas I feel like maybe some of the grace Rick gets, it's subconsciously is because at least a lot of people feel like the things they like from Rick, they can't really get anywhere else too tough. They can only get it from Rick. So even if he's rehashing it, it feels like he's rehashing a style that only he's offering, as opposed to Balenciaga rehashing a style that low key I can get at a lot of other houses. But I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
I think it's a very good point. I think you could arguably say that Brew, like you said, is the run they went on in 2017 and onwards. It paved the way for a lot of other, I guess, designers and houses in general to relook at what product they were putting out, and I guess in some cases make product a hell of a lot more commercial. But I think maybe the detriment that they've had is that doing that collection after all the controversy that kind of completely rocked the boat, as we've mentioned, maybe actually hurt them more in the long run, with actually affecting how we perceive these future collections, because then it almost looks like, oh, they tried to do a different thing, it didn't work, so they just went straight back to it. So I feel like people almost see it as maybe a sign of weakness in the work. But I also think across the fashion industry, everybody is playing it incredibly safe. And I think maybe the safety for Balenciaga is, like we've mentioned, sticking to this design language and the product that is still working in many ways. And instead of trying to completely flip the script, just ride it out and see what they can work on going forward.
And to bounce off
Yeah.
that, wait, I'll just say one thing and then you can go, Damilara. I feel like part of what Demna and like Balenciaga are suffering from at the moment is that I feel like these ideas that they're showing us, there was a point where these same ideas felt incredibly fresh to us.
Mhm.
Like there was a period where we were like, wow, Demna's really flipping luxury fashion on its head. Wow, Demna's really taking the piss, and it's like it's cool. Da, 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 da. Whereas
But he's been doing
now,
that since Vetements.
exactly, that's what I was saying. That now that we've grown so accustomed to that, maybe that's what he's suffering from as well. So collections that aren't necessarily as bad as we make them out to be, it's just because we're used to it and we're a bit bored of it, as opposed to it actually being bad.
Right. Do you know what's funny though? Sorry, Dami, before you go. So something I found really interesting is that he deliberately almost in his Vogue interview stated that he doesn't want to be intellectualized. So to read his quote, he said, I made this collection on a very instinctive level of what I like, what excites me, what creates desire in me. Where I'm bringing Balenciaga with this show is finding a new type of balance between all these different facets of my aesthetic and style. So that was kind of like one thing he said. And then he said, I think so much less than people think when I make looks. I just like those silhouettes and I would like to dress like that. And I would like to see women dress like that. There's really no intellectualizing behind it. And I don't know if like he's trying to downplay what he does, maybe because, and I saw in the comments someone said that he's kind of being tired of having to be this intellectual designer. But there is a lot of what he does that definitely is intellectual, even since Vetements. So I found it really interesting that he would go out on a limb and actually say that in an interview.
Yeah, so I want to record a time where what's his name? Sorry, I didn't mean what's his name. Virgil
Demna?
Abloh.
VA.
With Virgil. Yeah, I remember that immediately. When Virgil said that he didn't want to be called an artist or he didn't want to be called a designer, and obviously people kill him for that because he started out without the intellectualism, right? And then he delivered us his show notes, and then that stuff kind of shifted in and of itself, right? Rather than existing as a designer. And sometimes, just from the art perspective, is you just want to exist as somebody that does their job. Because sometimes, especially in times of financial crisis, I just want to remind everyone, I'm not making it political, but we are in like recession, we are in high interest rates, we are in this period, right? So when we're talking about these luxury goods and items that the 1% consume, it is part and parcel of the fact that you're not necessarily as a business trying to rock the boat regardless of anything. Like that's not the way that business conducts itself now. That's not to say that, like, I already noted that Karen isn't doing the greatest. Like LVMH is kicking their butt. It's actually so sad to see. It's like one of the maddest.
It's rough as well. No,
right
it's that thing of
and
like,
I don't think the gap has
Olympics,
been this wide.
the
ever.
Olympics Olympics haven't even happened yet, and they're kicking their behind. Obviously, I'll listen to you guys' last live about the Bluey stuff and everything like that. That's what I watched before I came on here and everything like that. But Karen just needs to survive. That's what and the reality is that, like, especially with what Henry said about the debacle, the grand debacle of Balenciaga that they tried to rock the boat. It's like I don't
No
even
one wants
think
to
it can
talk about it. Like,
I don't think it can be overstated. Well, we can't say it or else this live can get
Yeah.
monetized, right? It's like
think of the money.
it's mad. It's just mad. But Ayo and I spoke about it that during that time,
Yeah.
and I said the effects were going to be immediate. Like I was like the next period in which, like, you know, the quarters will come out, like 3 quarters down the line, I want to see it. And then lo and behold, slowly but surely, the gap just started getting wider and wider between them and LVMH. Now, just as somebody that enjoys, like, you know, when big business fights, generally, seeing them get beat down like this is wild, bro.
It's rough.
Right.
It's rough.
Get
Get up! Get up!
Somebody help him.
So it's like but no, I love it. But like, to be fair, it's like rich people problems. It's like champagne problems. So like we can laugh about it. But yeah, like they're just trying to survive. Now, to Micah's point, right? Yeah, everything was fresh and new, and like in reality, when it's not like a brand like Balenciaga, let's say it was just under Demna Vesalia, if it was him on his ones doing his brand and like giving us ideas, like, because it wasn't just new fashion ideas and changing the way that high fashion is seen and like the whole Donda 5 and everything like that. It was literally the way that we perceived the menswear changed in part because of Demna. And if it was part of his own brand, then we probably would just be like, yo, we're rocking with Demna regardless. But because this is LVMH, not LVMH, this is LVMH or Corinne or whatever it is.
And there's history.
It's like you're supposed to be one of the best. You've got all of this money. Why aren't you using it? Because really and truly, quiet is kept. The same thing is happening with Kim Jones, but Kim Jones hasn't had a debacle. Like people are quiet on Kim Jones, but Kim Jones introduced so many like phenomenal ideas to menswear in his time and period, and like when he was white hot, it was different. When Virgil was white hot, it was different. So, and when Demna was white hot, it was different. And it's like, how long do you expect somebody to be that hot during a time period? Like, even when it comes to like rappers, we don't even think about that. It's like,
I think kind of like
Lil Wayne
Dammy.
had his run. Oh wait, yeah.
To go into what you've said, I think the issue is 2 things. One is what Demna has said since then. He's contradicted himself way too much, which has not helped. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is he had a situation that no other designer had. Rick Owens hasn't had that kind of situation. Yoji hasn't had that situation. Kim Jones hasn't. Virgil didn't. So that's what I mean. Those 2 things really don't help. What I did want to point out, though, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts.
This look you have on the screen,
yeah,
I hate this look.
I wanted your thoughts. First of all, why is this guy sagging? Secondly,
it's the
collaboration.
Technically, it's the new look, but he took it from the streets. It's like happening in New York a lot, where people wear like the old bloomers. Like, you remember boxers where they were like really baggy, like, and then you wear your belt, and it's like you wear 2 pairs of jeans. But I've never really seen them take from the street and then put it in. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's not. They did the
Isn't that his MO?
And they got
that's his MO.
But he influences the street as well as takes from it, right? But it's like this one is like a look I've seen on Instagram already. Like, this is literally someone's look. Like, I think I can see someone walking out on the streets of New York with their Jordans in hand. Like, that is what I see when I see this look.
Yeah, he has done the sagging thing before. Yeah, Keezy, you're right. I just don't understand why he
that
does
pair
it,
was
though.
tough. I can't lie. That last pair was tough. But you got cooked.
And what do you think about, because obviously they collaborated with Under Armour and some of the pieces are later in the collection.
Under Armour are down horrendous right now. Under Armour are down bad.
Did you look at their financials, Micah?
Yeah, bro.
What are the financials looking like?
Well, the stock's down like significantly. And I think, I don't know, I just see it as them being down bad because I don't think any of the ideas are interesting. Everything they have here for the collab is the same that they did with Adidas. They just swapped out the logo.
Mhm.
Like, do you know what I mean? If you pull up, go on. I think there's a pair of like cotton tracksuit, and it's literally exactly the same as the Adidas one, just with
Yeah.
Under Armour logo instead of
The oversized ones, right?
yeah. Like it's exactly the same. The wash, the fit, everything.
But these
So
ones-
I wouldn't be surprised if they just used the same pattern. They took the same pattern at the studio. They said, "Oh, let's just whip this up again, but embroider a different logo."
Run it with the new logo.
Do you know what I will say though? Because every season since Demna started this sort of like formulaic thing, there are always track jackets and like sweatpants and hoodies in every collection. And I think in the context of doing those looks with a sportswear brand as a collaboration, I think it makes more sense than Balenciaga making like track jackets in the Manchester United colors and it just looks odd.
The thing
Or
is,
making like football jerseys that look like fake United jerseys is just a bit weird.
I think it makes more sense, but it's as equally as hard. Like if you look at like any rapper, they're already rocking the full Balenci tracksuit with or without the Adidas logo, or with or without
with the black gloves and everything.
Do you know what I mean? So like,
talking about,
even though it might come across as more authentic when you've done it in collaboration with the actual sportswear brand, I don't think it makes it any more cool or less cool. Like as far as like customers and consumers are concerned.
Okay, like hits the same. There's no difference.
My fault with not to cut you off, Henry. My fault with the Under Armour collab. It's like, okay, Demna done the Reebok one prior, right?
And Adidas.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I remember the Reebok one. Let me look it up.
Reebok was a while ago. I even know he did Reebok with Vetements. That was like I remember when he did Reebok with Vetements. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, right, because it would really, really make more sense if he did one with On Running or Asics.
I don't think there was a Reebok one, guys, with Balenciaga.
With Balenciaga, I don't remember that, but I thought he was talking about the Vetements one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm talking about Demna himself, right? So like, and because I was thinking, because when I was looking, I was like, why wouldn't you do one with On Running? Like they're really red hot right now, and people like on the ground love that brand, right? Like literally, I see it.
And running clubs are huge.
At least with a certain demographic, I see it everywhere, right? And then, is there something to be said about him working with, like, let's say, brands that aren't doing so well? Because in the time he done the Adidas collab, Adidas was not doing well at all as well.
One, Adidas haven't been doing well for how long now? Like
they came off the easy thing. And,
in fact, no. We're lying. To be fair, we're lying. Actually, when he did the Adidas one, Adidas was still up. They were still up.
No, but you remember, Micah? Remember, part of the Balenciaga scandal was the Adidas campaign.
Yeah, so it was rolling out. In terms of like when they'd signed the contracts and probably made.
No. That
Adidas was still good. Adidas was still good. That's my point.
But by the time they were ready to sell it, it was collapsed because the campaign was part of the scandal.
And isn't that just after the Kanye stuff? Like, if I'm
no, it's at this. It was no, I remember really clearly.
Time.
It was
everything was a bit shaky. So like, I agree with you in part, Michael, but at the same time, like, just the timelines were just too close. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. But I was just thinking, like that was just my thought. I was like, why doesn't he work with like red hot brands
rather than
even
someone who's on the decline?
Before all of this like madness was happening, right? It's like On Running,
Facts, Billy,
Holker, all of these things. Like it's like one of those things where I was just like, because obviously when you talk about demographics, right, that is partly who wears Holker or On Running.
Yeah.
Is like there's like cross pollination there. And then I was just thinking, why would you do one with like Under Armour? And I can, so I was confused.
Especially when you
have the conversation with you guys.
To kind of jump off that point, especially when you consider that a lot of Demna's Balenciaga is really, even since Vetements, to be honest, and he continued that Balenciaga, it's a commentary on what people are wearing on the streets and like
versus
kind of
luxury.
Exactly. So it's kind of like where that balance is. So considering his work literally as a commentary on what's going on in pop culture, on the internet, on TikTok, what people are wearing on the streets, that would kind of lean into, you know, working with brands that are associated with this new running craze and running boom and
No,
all
you're
these
cooking.
running clubs that are opening up. So that would be a big thing. And considering every season anyway, he does this sort of athleisure thing, that's such an easy way to tie into it. But of course, Under Armour is not really associated with all those things right now.
Not at all. I mean, I looked it up. Their stock has been down bad for a hot second now. And I feel like this is doing more for them potentially than maybe it even is for Balenciaga, depending on how the deal is split.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
just to
like,
jump in on this, sorry. Like,
Oh, this look.
do we feel that do Balenciaga have the pull? Like, does an on-running want to work with Balenciaga? Like, you see them working with, say, post-archive faction, like that
Yeah.
shoe's strong. The
Yeah,
Loewe stuff,
true.
strong. And I'm like, surely there is a reason why it's not happening, because why, in a nutshell, why would you want to work with a brand that, like Micah said, is down bad? Like, what is that? There's no benefit really to Balenciaga in some ways. There's no mutual benefit there. Under Armour
Yeah,
were
okay, I
paying
see.
more
Are you
than
saying
they did
that
before.
perhaps the only benefit is that Under Armour are the only people who are actually willing to work with Balenciaga?
I don't know. It seems bizarre to say that because they are still Balenciaga. Like, we cannot
But I
forget
guess
that they
any
are.
brand that works with them is basically jumping in front of a line of fire, because you're gonna have followers of your brand come to you and say, "Hey, why are you working with this scandal brand?" I don't want to
That's
say
true.
words,
Still,
but
I think.
so
Like,
if you feel
yeah.
like you guys are already doing well and you're just not in the mood to be dealing with a whole onslaught of people in your comment section, I hear it. Maybe I hadn't considered it from that perspective, but I hear it. Maybe it's just a lot of brands aren't looking to work with Balenciaga right now.
And it's
And
like I said, like, a lot of these brands are just playing it safe right now. So why do you want to jump in front of a potential issue and potential reason for your customers to not buy from you anymore? Like, you need to make sure that they stay happy, like they stay on the bandwagon, like, yay, I'm running so good, we love wearing them all the time. You don't want to give them a reason to be like, hang on, I don't really like this connection. I
Right.
don't really want to be a part of this.
That's so tense though, because like, to be fair, an authentic on running collab makes more sense than, you know, because it's just part of the way that Demna works to work with these particular brands. So it's like,
Yeah, for sure.
that would make sense, but if they were in a good place, obviously today, yes. But what's it? Who did on running have the collab with again? Was it Loewe?
Yeah,
They've done
Loewe,
away
and
with
then
it.
they've
They've
had
done post archive faction. Yeah.
Yeah,
Apple,
so
yeah.
it's like Loewe doesn't seem like, as much as, you know, I love Loewe, that's not
LVMH
what,
as well.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, exactly, kicking there, like it's bad, it's bad.
There
But
might be contractual agreements on
sense.
those things. Because
That's
for
what I
example,
meant when I said
because
it. I meant contractually they probably just can't.
Yeah.
because if Loewe have already worked with them, then obviously Kering can't, because that's
And LVMH are very particular about that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah, they're
making
not going to
sure.
open. are they?
Finn, if you want to hop on the live, that would be great. If you want to talk about how a lot of the collabs work behind the scenes, because Finn works in the industry, so it'd be great to get his insight.
Sick.
I'll post the link, Finn, if you want to join.
What else is there? Yeah, no.
There was a really good comment, by the way. Someone from Ukraine was saying that Under Armour is quite frequently wearable in post-Soviet countries. Logo and brand in this case also has a wearable set of values, that is a very strong point, because a lot of Demna's work, I guess less so at Balenciaga, but especially at Vetements, is very much looking at like post-Soviet styles and like what people are wearing in Georgia, and like referencing like Georgia and Ukraine, and even some like Balkan countries too, like the Serbias and stuff, like what they wear there. So in a way, that's actually a really strong point, because obviously we do have to remember that Demna's inspiration point, yes, it does come from pop culture and kind of what's going on in the present moment, but it's also sometimes he looks to reference kind of where he grew up and kind of what people are wearing there now, what people wore there in the past, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because I didn't have the facts on that, but that was part of my point. Unless it's war there, then that's the only reason I see it happening, to be fair. But yeah, it's good to know that at least there's some connection there.
Is Finn hopping on? Because I'm mad curious to see what.
Yeah, I want to get this insider info. Like,
Yeah,
give us the goss.
Finn, we want the gossip.
Get in here, man.
Because I guess a crucial piece of information would be like how long in advance this sort of stuff is sorted out. Although I don't think it's that long, but we'll find out, I guess.
You never know with these things. It can either be something like case by case.
Yeah,
It
Right.
might just be. You could argue that maybe this has been in the works for time, and it's just that now it's finally come to fruition, or maybe they have them on some sort of setup where they just pick and choose these sportswear brands and go like, "Your time to shine is now."
Well, they
Okay,
need it.
Finn's here. Let's see. Hello, Finn.
Hello.
Hiya, how are you?
Hello.
I'm not turning on the video because I look grim.
That's all right.
But yeah, I just want to say, because like you were talking about like case by case, like depending on how long things take. It really depends on what type of collab you've bought into as a brand. So in the case of Balenciaga with Under Armour, Balenciaga have bought the rights to it. It's a licensing deal.
Yep.
So same with
So
Adidas.
Under Armour didn't have to do anything, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So Under Armour didn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and it really just depends on the type of collab that you go into. So here, like on that look, that which is the tracksuit track bottoms look, the only thing that Under Armour would have produced is the shoes.
Sold.
Right.
So
Like,
it's more or less
Makes
Balenciaga
sense.
having access to use the logo.
Yeah, that's what
And
licensing
that's
is.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was working at a brand and we had a Lonsdale collaboration last year, and basically they reached out to us and were like, "Look, we want you to do a Lonsdale collaboration." And we were like, "Yeah, absolutely fine." And the first thing you have to ask as a brand is, "Can we do anything with that brand?" Like,
right.
So depending on where their strengths are in the market. So Lonsdale, it's like base layers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, that's where I see Under Armour the most. But Lonsdale was the shoes. So for us, we weren't allowed to fuck with the boxing style Lonsdale shoes. So the only thing we could do is go into the archive and pick out over the knee boxing boots, and then we added, like, I think one of the looks had like diamantes like attached to them randomly, right? And that was the most they would let us do with the shoes, because Lonsdale shoes are what keeps the business alive.
Right.
But then when it came to the clothes, they were like, you can do anything and slap a logo on it.
But to me, in a way, Finn, it almost doesn't make sense, because, okay, let's say Lonsdale, like, that's what keeps the business alive. If you have a collaboration with a brand and they just like switch up the shoes a bit, it's not going to change your like your outcome, because it's going to be made in a very small quantity anyway, and it's only going to be seen amongst a fashion specific audience.
But I'll give you some background on collabs, right, as well, on that very question. Is like Asics have been very, very popular, and the reason why they've been very popular with collabs is they began with Kiko. Kiko proved that there was a market for this street, like we call it street style, but it's not even street style. It's just fashion sneakers. And once he did that, and the first couple of shoes he did was just archive shoes and new colors. And then what he then did was like, actually,
they allowed him to make his silhouettes, right?
He allowed him to make his silhouettes.
Yeah.
And if you look at the GmbH, the Chipova Lavena, and even the Marc Jacobs ones, right? Their existing shoes in new colors. The Marc Jacob ones was a collaboration with Kiko and Asics to allow them to do a new sole.
Right.
So it's really down to the trust of the shoes, because Asics obviously trust Kiko to a point where they gave them the funding to open a store in Japan. Like, to do as much, as much sort of exploration and development as they want. But these brands don't want to spend the money. So I'll give you the example of Lonsdale. So we did that Lonsdale show. They paid like 50% of the show as like a thanks for using our name. And then when it came to production, bear in mind, I worked for a brand that was really small, Jordan Luca. Like this was like quite a highly anticipated launch. Everybody was asking about the launch. Retailers, like our wholesale, people were putting in pre-order for this launch. And when it came down to it, Lonsdale was just like, we're not producing that.
Sold.
That's up to you. You bought the name. So it's only people like Balenciaga who can do these licensing deals to this point where it's like, I'm going to slap Under Armour on this and call it a collab. And like, I always think about the Prada collab. Do you remember that Prada Adidas collab?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Weird collab.
It was a shocking collab.
Yeah.
And they're always like, oh, these superstars were made in the Prada factories. Right?
What were they calling it? Pradidas. They were calling it Pradidas.
Yeah, Pradidas. And it was like, oh, they're made with leather instead of like the normal canvas. And it was like, okay.
Yeah, so actually, that is one of the first collabs that Adidas allowed another factory to produce their shoes.
Right.
Oh.
Interesting.
And that's ironic because the polar opposite happened with Jound. With the Jound collab, where they did the Sambas purely in leather, that was the marketing they did for that was, oh, we've made them at the like official Adidas factory. Like they're all handmade here and allegedly. So it's funny that for the Prada one, Prada worked on the shoe, but for the Jound one, it was Adidas who did it.
Yeah. No, totally. And the last thing, and then I can jump off or whatever, is that you were talking about Loewe and On Cloud shoes. The On running shoes. Like the reason why Loewe is doing so well with On, and I only know this because of people who work there, is because J.W. Anderson will only do collabs with people that he has to do the minimum amount of work. And that's not in a bitchy way. That's in a like, he just changes them enough so that the audience feels like they're luxury. Like if you think about his Uniqlo collab, it's creating a narrative around very basic, boring clothes. And it's the same with his On collab. His like the people that are buying.
It's just the Loewe thing slapped onto the shoes, right?
Yeah, it's Loewe On, and then it's exclusive colors, but it's always just 6 months before the official launch of that new sole. And that's kind of how they do these collabs. And this collab, actually, the one that dropped like last month with On and Loewe, is the first time they've done ready to wear on that scale. And that was made by On. So I can tell you for now, they are all predetermined shapes that On has already designed, and then Loewe have just picked the color.
Which is pretty standard procedure, I feel like, in footwear.
Yeah, definitely. I just think when people think, oh, this collab's really shit, like these brands don't want to fuck with stuff that sells. Or like in the case of Balenciaga, like we know that he loves, like in a British sense, it's a bit chavvy, it's very 90s, it's very like Novacek vibes. And then they know that's what he's going to do. He's going to do a tracksuit, he's going to do wide sweatpants. Like it's pretty, like when he did that Adidas collaboration, we all knew what was coming out before it came out.
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
I can't lie. I feel like it was more interesting. It's one of the more interesting collabs they've done by a long way.
But it just looked like stuff that he makes before with Adidas branding on it. So that's what he means by like we kind of knew what to expect.
Yeah. But anyway, Under Armour only came about, and there's actually 16 other looks that got cut from this show that are Under Armour.
And
what,
same sort of vibe, just with a logo?
It's actually all base layers.
Just like base layer, sweatpants.
So it really went heavy on the base layers, and it was all like his cat suits and whatnot. Because basically, this is what I've heard internally, is that Kim Kardashian showed Demna Ozempic, and then he started going on an Ozempic trend, and then went to the gym, and he's lost like 20 pounds, right, or 30 pounds.
No way.
And he's been going to the gym, and the only thing he found comfortable was Under Armour. And he reached out to, and this is not like some PR shtick. This
No,
is
you're
something
lying.
that, like,
Bro.
works.
That's
Insane.
too funny, man.
That's insane. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, so that's why Under Armour came about. It's literally just because Demna was going to the gym and
Nah,
liked Under Armour.
bro. Nah, bro.
Everybody's on the Ozempic, man.
Oh my
Honestly.
god.
If you
They've
look at
got
him from
Demna
last
too.
year's netball and this
Hey,
year's netball, completely different human.
Shout out to Ozempic, man. What else?
That's
That was
crazy.
second week in.
Somebody's in the chat.
Anyway, that was everything I had to say about collab.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Finn.
No, that's cool.
Are
Thank
you
you for the
gonna stay with
insight.
us longer?
We love that. We love that.
Or are you gonna flee now?
I mean, I'll stay in the back. I'll put myself on mute.
We love Finn's insights. Oh, Billy, they also use these collabs to test out new shapes before they do a general release to gauge market appetite. Micah, do you remember when this was a really, really commonplace thing? So I'll give you examples. Before the Vapor Maxes were like released, they had the
Comme
Comme
des
des Garçons
Garçons.
collab, right?
Mm.
And then when they saw that it sold like
Common all
hotcakes,
the
then
time.
immediately they released like the Vapor Maxes and
The
like
thing
in the
about
same
this,
exact
though,
shape.
is I think it depends on the brand, because
I think
some
it doesn't
brands
happen with every brand.
are
Yeah.
a lot more predatory with it than others. I think some brands let you go and design or at least tweak a silhouette, and then if it does well, the brand will just take it for themselves afterwards. Because we've seen
Hey,
Nike and Converse do
run-
that a few too many times.
the Run Star hikes. My
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember the JW Anderson
Yeah,
shebang?
he was
where,
not- he was having none of
he
that.
was not happy. He was not happy. Maybe that's the reason why JW Anderson doesn't want to do a lot of the work on it now, because he's been burnt.
It is.
with
Yeah.
That's
Converse.
rightfully so as well, though. They
Exactly.
stole his whole swag, and they still sell it to this day.
Bar for
Yeah.
bar. They
Like,
did
they
a
stole his
a,
whole
um,
swag.
rum.
There's a guy.
Copied the homework, innit?
There's a guy at Dover Street Market. Well, actually, no, he's been fired, and he was
Lol.
He was working in the basement, and he was in his 40s, right? And you looked at him, and you were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he used to consult Comme des Garçons in Japan whilst he worked at Dover Street about the different collabs. He would like do market research of what was selling in store.
Oh
And
wow.
he was an original collector of, like, you know, when like in the 90s when people used to collect sneakers, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, and he was part of the like garage scene and whatever, so he had like a different perspective on it. And he had all this collection, and when they started doing this night collaboration, he was in it from the start, but he didn't want to move to Japan, so he just consulted on it. What's really interesting is, like, Io, you made like the astute point, which is like the Vapor Max was already designed in-house by Nike, and they said to Com, do you want to launch it?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, you know, when you see the reissues of like old issues, and you're like, especially with Com, like sometimes they're really disappointing collabs, because you're like, these aren't even interesting, like they're just Oreo colored or whatever. And but what they actually do is, as a team, they take it out stitch by stitch. So they break the shoe down, and a lot of the time the shoes have been repadded differently and stuff. And
yeah, that was very calm.
like very calm. But also with Nike in particular, they're not allowed to change the shoe very much, like at all. And there's
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, I've got a pair of low dunks from them from 2019, which has like printed on them, and it was the first time a dunk had been fucked up, as in like quote unquote fucked up to that point. And it was literally just like a thin layer of plastic, right? And these shoes were made out of like plastic. And the Com team had to do a really, really, really small release at the beginning, because Nike were like, it's never going to sell. It's never going to sell. We can't fuck up like an Air Jordan or whatever, or Dunk. Like, people would be angry. But obviously people that collect Dunks and like Jordans and stuff, they want different things.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's why they tended so well.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
I
And
mean.
then
I don't understand these brands. It's almost like they think backwards. Like
they do.
it's just kind of
It
like
doesn't
what
make
you were
sense.
saying about the like what these brands say. It makes no sense. Like when they were saying like Lonsdale, for example, they're like, okay, so these shoes kind of like are our best sellers, so we rely on it. So we don't want you to change the shoe, which to me makes no sense because a fashion brand is going to sell it in tiny quantities. The only people that are really going to see it is a fashion specific crowd. So if anything, you're just going to make the brand hot within
Exactly.
a certain crowd of fashion. And that crowd of fashion normally influences the trend.
Yeah.
So it normally trickles down from the fashion crowd, what celebrities wear, and then it trickles down to like everyday people. So if you can actually capture people in the fashion space in a crazy way, you capture everyone.
Exactly.
And so the idea that they think you shouldn't change it because it's so backwards, it's so backwards.
And I don't think the public know how little these brands, like, not, I'm not talking about like the sportswear brands. I'm talking about brands themselves actually produce.
Yeah.
Like Balenciaga, the only thing they produce is shoes. Their ready to wear is like two pieces if they're lucky of each thing in store.
Yeah.
Like they do not make as much as people think they do.
Mm.
And it is crazy when you start looking at their stock figures, and like even when you're working for a tiny brand like Jordan Luca, right? Like these small brands, even Charles Jeffrey and one of the reasons why
accessories, right?
Yeah, but it's not even that. But they can't even make MOQs, minimum order quantities. With if you think of who's the guy that just sold his brand to Tomorrow,
Samuel Ross.
A Cold War, right?
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I left was because A, he sold too much of his brand and he didn't have like full control, which he wanted. But two, a lot of the stuff he wanted to produce, stores weren't buying, so they were making like 20 of them. And you can't fulfill a minimum order quantity with a factory with 20. Like a lot of these factories want minimum 200.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be really interesting with a lot of like the public to know how much like even Balenciaga doesn't make that much product, and they still have these huge flash fire sales for staff that are like everything 90% off, and you're like, this isn't even like you haven't produced that much. You've made 100, like you've made 1,000 t-shirts because you thought this one t-shirt graphic was going to sell really well. And, and it hasn't.
Oh, sorry, that's what I was alluding to earlier. That a lot of the reason they can even get away with that, and then at the end of the year they still say, "Oh, we made 8 billion this year," is because a lot of their profit is from accessories. It is from having an it bag
and things like cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah,
obviously is the big money maker because those they do sell in like crazy quantities.
Yeah,
no,
that's interesting.
Dami, you made a really good point about Kering in general, which was like Kering is not doing hot right now. But actually, if we look at Balenciaga as an isolated incident, right, I only know the American figures because of stuff, but like America are back to pre-pandemic figures, pre-scandal figures, sorry. Right, and they have been since Christmas.
Yeah. Isn't that generally the same thing with D&G as well?
Like, yeah, D&G don't care.
News.
Yeah,
Americans don't care about
D&G from my perspective is doing very well.
Oh, really?
D&G are doing very well.
Oh, yeah.
They're not
Henry would know too, because Henry, you're a buyer, right? Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
So that's interesting. That's really
those are some good points, though. Shout out to Finn. I did want to say something though to what Ira said about the brands being backwards. That the only thing I will offer to that is that generally these like brands if you want to call them that, right, are beholden to shareholders. Now,
yeah, I was thinking that
someone has to pay, with their job sometimes, with the bad stuff that happens. So like when we look at Adidas and all of the bad stuff that happened to them after, using Kanye, like Kanye was great for them for the time he was there, but then he was not so great for them.
Yeah, like, someone definitely lost their job over that stuff.
And this is the other thing, right? And then we see the corporate reshufflings in like
Gucci. There was huge reshuffle.
Yeah, so and it's like that's people paying for the bad things that have happened with their jobs. Like we think, oh, why is everyone playing musical chairs in the industry at the top levels? It's like stuff's not going well, and somebody's paying for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as much as they should like innovate in quotes, right? In some certain instances, doing small tests and like little installations and like all of these like okay, let's test it in this market first. It's like it's obviously everything that you guys have spoke about, but then also it's like, yo, I'm not trying to lose my job over this because I thought this was cool. Like hundreds of thousands / millions of people have to think this is cool for us to do this. So yeah, it's interesting though.
But I think they also just don't, because okay, this is why like I consult with brands, right? Because they just don't know. Like they actually don't know. Like I'll go into an exec meeting at Nike and everyone's like 50 years old.
Yeah.
So they just don't know. And they're not
And
involved in
investors are as
fashion
well.
either. Yeah, like they're just they just don't know. So that's the thing.
They don't know anything.
And people don't talk about the fact that, you know, Tomorrow Group,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, it's doing so well, like these new brands, whatever. By the way, no brand under Tomorrow is happy. I've not signed an NDA, but no brand under Tomorrow is happy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So wait, let's think of the Tomorrow: Charles Jeffrey, Martine Rose, A.
None of them
Wall.
happy.
Oh wow.
None of them happy. Nor's Machine. I don't care. Like, I have left the industry now for a bit. I'm happy. But
yeah, but don't get any lawsuit because of a YouTube live stream.
I'm not naming names. I'm not going to name names, but all I would say is the female who consulted for Balenciaga, who is now at Tomorrow, she wants to leave her own brand.
Sold.
Wow.
And I will say that the Scottish dude who is having a 10-year anniversary, the only reason why he's happy being there is he's the only one out of the whole portfolio that was smart enough not to sell a majority stake to Tomorrow.
Right.
And just quickly before you go in, Dami, did you know that Tomorrow is minority owned by only the brave?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
they're the biggest investor into Tomorrow.
Yeah, so I just wanted to list some brands. So it's Bianca Saunders, GmbH, what's it called?
The ones like Charles Jeffrey,
Action,
Martine Rose,
Otterlinger, and
It's
Rojas. Yeah.
By the way, some of them are incubators and some of them are owned. There's a big difference.
Yeah. I'm looking at the ones that are like, the own ones, but then there's the originals.
That's it. The originals ones that are owned by them.
Yeah, that's Caperni, Charles Jeffries of Cold Wall, and Martine Rose. Those are the ones.
Finn, this comment is for you.
Look, I've worked at too many places. They know they should have signed an NDA. Look, they know. I used to go to fashion events and I'd be like, they're struggling, girl. They're struggling. And then people would be like, oh, I didn't think they were struggling. I was like, do you not think any of these brands that are stuck in London, who we have Brexit, where our fabrics are costing 3 times as much as those that are producing in Italy, are struggling? Yeah, like, no, Stefan Cook might be going.
Yeah, I've said them, like, even one time on a stream, I said that Craig Green was in financial difficulties, and they're like, how do you know? And obviously I couldn't say at the time, but like literally their like atelier was literally across the corner from my house.
Yeah,
like literally.
Well,
it was very close to one DLR station. Yeah, it was very close to one DLR station, but I won't tell you which station.
Lol. Which DLR station, darling?
Yeah, Finn would know.
No, but yeah, there's a lot of brands that are like, they're just not going to survive, guys. Right now,
it is a bit like survival of the fittest right now.
Yeah, I mean, Vampire's wife. Sorry, I know we're not talking about Balenciaga. Sorry, but Vampire's wife, who sell to middle-aged white Chelsea women.
Yeah.
Right. That has just shut down. They were doing so well internally, and the reason why they didn't is because they had 2 bad wholesale seasons, and it crushed their business. And they were looking at more growth this year. To that point.
Wow.
Right. And if they're the ones that are selling to people that have money, right? People like, I'm going to use Stefan Cook because I know they're struggling. Stefan Cook couldn't even afford to produce a show. They had to do the Mulberry collaboration to afford the fabrics to do the clothes. because they don't have any backing, and then they couldn't afford to stage a show, so they did it at the Mulberry showroom.
Yeah.
Like these brands, man. Like people don't understand. Like a bad wholesale season is killing these brands. People like Balenciaga, if it's backed by Kering tomorrow, whatever, like it gives you that stability of like one of the stakeholders says, "Oh, get rid of that designer," because they can, and then they bring in something new and it creates hype. But these independent brands are like actually gone, like in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's facts. I try. Do I try? I in a way sometimes don't want to say no. Don't want to say like who it is, like who does what, just in case. Because I don't want to get hit with like some crazy lawsuit or something.
Yeah, but you work for a magazine. There's a difference. Like
exactly. That's why I can't really say it.
Don't hire me. It's fine.
Because like Aaron is saying, yeah, Finn can do what I can't do, because I'm not sure if I can actually say.
And also, people that work at magazines, they think they're the shit stirrers. It's not. It's people like me who work in the marketing and it's like, I don't care.
The pot is out.
See me at the perfect magazine launch.
So, Wild and Lethal Treasure. To be honest, when you work in the industry, I'll just put it this way: when you work in the industry, like I have friends almost at every single brand. So if I need insights at any brand, you just know because you have friends that all work there. But obviously, I can't really say. Finn can, so that's why we need Finn on the streams. Because because a lot of and some of my information is like off the record, and as a journalist, to be fair, integrity wise, if I mention something publicly that someone has told me in confidence off the record, then that's like
you're fucked.
Your integrity in the dustbin, and you'll never get an interview with that person again.
And in my case, I go in as like a consultant for either like social media or marketing, or like in other cases it's production. And you know, these little brands don't sign NDAs, and I don't care if they do it. I'm over it. I'm over it. People need to know.
I don't know about the UK, but I wouldn't say anything as a journalist living in Italy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, as a journalist, I definitely have to keep it on right. But I do suggest these things. Like even you know, the last stream, Michael, we did about Celine and Eddie Slimane, and people were saying, why doesn't he just start his own brand, since he has a very specific aesthetic? And we were talking about, I mean, running a brand is hard. Like,
different type of
if you have the security that he does, earning royalties from like fragrances being sold, and also being on one of the highest salaries as a creative director at LVMH, that is the level of security.
A lot of the heavy
lifting,
have. Other people are doing it for you.
Yeah, because I think
Even
sometimes you see success stories like Comme des Garçons or Rick Owens or whatever, and we're like, they could be like a multi-millionaire, but it doesn't always work like that. For every Comme des Garçons, there's like 50,000 ones that literally packed up.
And like,
Comme des Garçons is even a bad example.
Were doing badly for a long time.
Yeah, they were.
And it was only until they did licensing, which was Adrian Joff or Joffe or whatever, who came in and was like, let's do licensing with Speedo. And they literally started a Speedo collaboration. And then that's when they started doing, after that, they started doing the Play t-shirts. And Play t-shirts just printed the money, and it still does.
And Adrian Joff is the reason for the fragrance line too.
Yeah.
Don't forget the landscape as well. When Comme des Garçons was coming up, it's completely different to the landscape now.
True.
Where like a lot of these things that brands do to make this money, we're talking about these licensing deals and stuff like that. Back then, that was new.
Yeah.
They were like, oh shit, we can do this and like just make money. Whereas now everyone knows that. So it's just a more saturated market, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's just hard to navigate right now, I think, in the fashion industry overall. Like, there's just so much going on. It's like for the bad, unfortunately.
Yeah. Stores are closing, man. Like, some of my favorite stores are closing this year. And I thought, like, one bit of, like, something that's scary for the fashion industry, and then I will have to go because I'll talk about anything but Balenciaga because I thought this collection was shit. Is the fact that, like, I thought some of these stores had like 6 months. Do you know what I mean? Like 6 to 12 months. And in the last 2 weeks, some of my favorite stores have closed.
Which stores?
There's like Hervier in Manchester. They've closed.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah, I
store.
know. Oh damn, I know them.
Are
Yeah.
Hervier
I bought like I
affiliated
used
or
to buy
connected to
Margiela
someone?
from there.
Say that again.
I feel me or
Yeah, you were talking about connections because I know the guy that.
yeah,
owns
I
hate
don't
him.
know when I've heard it, but I feel like somebody told me that they are owned by somebody, and it's like just one of these things where they push the product through it, and it's just like a fascia for them to get sales. But I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what
who
you're talking about
it-
now. I think
So-
I've heard that same story.
So the guy that owns Hervier actually owns the licensing for the UK for Y3.
Hmm,
So
That makes
maybe
makes
it's
sense.
that I've heard.
Yeah, and then but the owners themselves, like, I know maybe too much, and I actually won't say too much about this because this is where I could get sued. But like, they were struggling from COVID, and the only thing that saved them, a lot of these stores, was Farfetch.
yeah, and now Farfetch is cooked.
Yeah,
Yep.
and now Farfetch is cooked, and then because Farfetch is cooked, they've put loads of rules, and they've always had these rules, which is like, if you send a Farfetch package out and it's damaged when it arrives to the customer, as in the packaging is damaged to the customer, they'll
Yeah.
take a percentage off that item of sale,
Mm.
and it's eating these small
Mm.
businesses alive. And obviously now Farfetch is cooked, people are like, what the fuck can I do? And liquidators are literally showing up to these stores' doors.
No, what Farfetch did, you know, they're still like, they might be under a serious lawsuit
Really?
because it was almost
Yeah.
like, yeah, because what they did was, for people that don't know, what Farfetch did was they overvalued the brand so that they could get a number of like shareholders and investors, and then when everything packed up, they sold to like, what was it, that Korean company for way
Yeah.
less than
Is it
they valued the
Coupang?
brand for it's almost like fraud in a way.
Yeah. I feel like from what I've read, that's more sort of pushed on the old CEO though, and the way that he's managed with it. I don't know whether it's per se on Farfetch as a company, but I don't know. I might have read it wrong.
Yeah,
Too many people that got fired from them that day that they all found out. And like matches, guys, I used to love matches.
Same.
And the
Such a
concept
shame.
of like the store, you know, like that is it Five Colors place? The townhouse was so good. Did some of the best fashion events in London.
Yeah, so some of these companies don't necessarily have the best runway, especially in fashion. So when it comes to like the operating revenue and how much like that eats out of the brand, they're being attacked from that side. But then there's also, you know, the side that you were speaking about, Finn. So after, let's say, 6 months, that is not enough time to make back all of the money that they've lost, and they can't necessarily recoup on those things, right? So when you have to pay people salaries and all of these other things, it's better for the company, funnily enough, to file for bankruptcy rather than, you know, try to get another loan out against whatever properties that you have. And if that's even if you own the property, right? Because a lot of these people don't even like own the ground that they live on. They are renting from someplace, so they don't necessarily have true collateral. So all they can really do is liquidate. And that's the unfortunate situation here. And one of the things that I care about, especially in fashion business, is the way that people should have the ability to get out better loans with better interest rates. But considering that we are in a high interest rate society now, like, listen, Paris is burning, you know what I'm saying? It's like these places and these things, it's like we aren't necessarily the best economical time to exist as companies in an industry.
It's even more layered than that, because I'm thinking about how like Farfetch, not only were they, you know, they were also distribution for a lot of these brands or exposure. So it was just that added thing of not only like, are you getting out these like high interest or risky loans, you're then working with someone like Farfetch who you end up becoming very reliant on them. So now we're in a
The
scenario where something
reliance
happens.
is a big issue.
Yeah.
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 Now we're in a
like,
scenario where something happens to Farfetch. A lot of brands are really struggling, if not finished.
And
Yeah.
you look at these
in
big
the
brands.
reality
Go on.
of oh yeah, sorry. In the reality of Farfetch, it's like they done the back end for so many of these other high fashion houses' websites.
Yeah, they
right?
help design
So-
their websites in some
so,
cases,
so
actually.
and they did their whole retail side and like, you know, whatever Shopify was to other people, small to medium sized businesses, they were to, you know, some of these luxury houses and, you know, even some of these medium sized, you know, $1 million brands and all of these other things. So Farfetch did have a good side that was quite stable. However, that does mean that you generally do have to downsize, right? But obviously, if you've got, let's say, Chanel, brands from LVMH and Kering on your portfolio, you can in a sense, not necessarily in a good sense, overinflate yourself and say, yo, we're valued this much because we have these partners in
Mhm.
quotes, right? And then, you know, they get out loans and all of these other things, and they have liens, collateral, all of these things to be able to say, yeah, we're valued at this much. But in reality, what do you actually sell? What do you actually own? What do you actually create? And then
Well-
when a real financial analyst looks at your company, or when like the feds come and look at your company and say, this like
This
where
ain't
do you
adding
make
up.
your real money? It's yeah, exactly. It's like, and I see that so many times, not with just fashion brands, but like with other companies as well. It's like, especially when I look in the markets, it's like this company doesn't make what they're saying they're making.
No,
They
nobody
just
does.
have great PR.
Mm.
That's just my thing, anyway.
But quickly, and to add to that, it's like intellectual property and sales and whatever. Like, sorry, I don't know your name. You do the buying,
Henry.
Henry. Like, if you look at, I'm sure you work. Do you work at a department store by any chance? Before I say too much.
I do indeed.
Okay. Well, there's a big yellow one in London that's not doing too well.
That's hilarious.
And
I wonder what that is.
yeah, wait, it's yellow and it sounds like fridge. And
Oh my word.
but they're obviously not doing too well, and they've been bought by the company that owns Regent in Italy, and a huge Thai conglomerate which has the biggest department stores in Thailand and Southeast Asia. But the reason why they're not doing well, and every department store is are doing very well, is that these big brands like Prada, specifically Prada, Kering Group, LVMH, they saw the writing on the wall of Farfetch and things, in my opinion anyway, which was brands can have more control if they do direct to consumer. We all know this, right?
Mm.
So in department stores, you have own bought, which is when a store buys for, like a department store buys for their shop floor, and then you have concession, which is you have almost like a fake boutique within a store. And what these big brands realized is that we're going to take back control of how much you can A, put our products on sale, and B, control our own image. But by doing that, what it's done to things like the big yellow one is that all of a sudden their cash flow is really low. So now they can't buy into new designers like they used to. So they have to play it super safe because they don't have the big brands to rely on to get all that money, because they're only getting a small percentage of either like floor rent and then per item sold, like maybe, I don't know, 10%, maybe not even 10%.
And the small designers they do have, their contracts are so disgusting.
They're horrible.
Like the sale returns and like stuff like that are horrid.
Yeah.
They are terrible.
RTV
And people don't even
agreements,
realize that seller returns
etc.
also mean they don't go on the shop floor.
Yeah.
They've decided not to sell it.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
I think the concession model is a very interesting development in general, because
Definitely.
I feel like in some ways you've seen through not necessarily luxury, but a lot of emerging brands from streetwear level onwards have kind of championed that D2C is very capable and you can just have control and dictate what you want. And in selling to department stores and etc., things along those lines, you do lose a sense of control, and the market perception can be massively changed. Like, look at how Stussy pulled out. Look at Aimé Leon Dore, like that was sat on sale racks, and then look at them
Yeah.
now. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
are,
Booming.
everybody wants to be
Booming.
them. There's brands copying them, like, and the brands copying them are selling just as well. And it's almost like people are sort of, like you've mentioned about seeing the writing on the walls at Farfetch. I think even the big players are like, you know what? Why are we taking the risk here? Like, let's just play our cards right and let's show that we're the like powerful people in this industry, rather than giving, I guess, these department stores, I guess, like a false ego. They think they can dictate what they can do.
Fashion's fucked.
No, it is. It
I couldn't
honestly
put
is.
it better myself.
Well,
Yes,
I don't,
it's
you know
very
what?
much
I
fucked.
don't know how. I don't really know how messed up it is. Essentially, in the way that I see it, at least my perception of certain things, is that it's not just like it's bad. It's like it's how I see talking about fashion during like real big crises that are happening in the world. It's like no one's really focused on, I don't know, what the powerful 0.1% or 1% are doing when, you know, London's falling down and everything like that. And it's like, at least for some creative companies, right? You have to see yourself, like, there is this instance of people always wanting to see themselves as luxury, but then there's people that are doing quite okay at the same time. So like there is this middle class of companies that don't live beyond their means, like certain other companies, right? They do have big coffers, as in like they have a stockpile of money somewhere so that they have a massive runway, and they pay themselves the right salary, right? So, you can call them the corner shops of fashion in one instance, right? And then you go from one corner shop to another corner shop, just like Aimé and Dore has done. And then now you're a worldwide brand or international brand, right? And people want to get fast really quickly, and leverage being as seen in Vogue and all of these other things, when there's a reality whereby you can live as a brand that is making 80 to 110,000 pounds every quarter, or even, let's not even say every quarter, let's say every half year or full year, right? And you can live on a reasonable salary, but people like the glitz and glamour and luxury of fashion, and it's sometimes it just is what it is for these people. You get me? It's like,
Yeah, and
the
it's
real
more
fast
about
dies off
image
next
than
week.
the actual like nitty. So I have this so for example, I'll just, like, without mentioning names, because I consult for bigger brands, so a brand that I've consulted for in the past is like Jordan Brand, for people that don't know. So there are people with smaller brands that come to me behind the scenes and ask me questions. And it seems as though a lot of people's focus in terms of like fashion business is more so being seen to be doing well rather than actually doing well. And it's like a huge problem, especially with designers.
Make
They
it till
want
you
to
make
stock
it.
in. Yeah, because they're like, okay, how do I get my brand to stock in Selfridges? I'm like, why is that your focus? Because if your brand is stocked in Selfridges, considering like how popular you are as a designer, you're only going to be at a disadvantage because you're going
Exactly.
to sign a terrible contract. So why is that your focus? Why don't you focus more about building an audience and just doing D2C
And
and like building
onto that,
yeah, go on,
just
continue what
quickly,
you're saying.
is like Jordan Luca before I left, right? And I'm going to say this because it's a nice thing to say about them, is that they were relying wholly on wholesale, and they had a really bad year last year. And we did a Vogue business piece, and it all came out. And we did these figures, and they were true figures, and we were like, hold on, we should have inflated these. And what we realized is, as well, is that as soon as we did D2C and we went hard on D2C, their figures are doubled already. Like what you're saying here, like D2C is the way forward for these brands.
And I think a lot of brands learned that during the pandemic, honestly.
Truly.
They had to.
That's when I saw a lot of
Not enough.
maybe not enough, but I think a lot of the
Yeah.
brands that did learn it kind of did it because they had to, and then they were like, wait, why haven't we been doing this whole time? And that's why you have brands like Telfar, which absolutely thrived because that was the wave they were already on. And they were able to just, everyone who kind of had that infrastructure in place and already had that mindset in place when the pandemic hit absolutely ran it up because they didn't even have to make any adjustments and they already knew what they were doing.
They had place already.
Exactly. They had their helmets on. But DTC is definitely the way.
The next year, man, direct to consumer is long and expensive via wholesale upfront sales to brands is the lifeblood for small to medium brands. So the thing is that personally, I would not agree. I think that the most successful small to medium brands are the ones that build a strong enough audience to where D2C is viable. If as a small brand from the start, you're too reliant on wholesale, I think you're in big trouble because the second you have a bad season, that's the end of it. So that's why, to me, and this is what I tell young designers, I'm always like, focus more on like building your own audience and like a cult around your brand and people that understand your core product first before doing the D2C thing, because you're almost like setting yourself up to fail long term. That's why people like Peter Do, for example, he's having a bad, let me not say a bad year, but he's had a bad recent, financial season because it's too much D2C. Sorry, it's too much wholesale, not enough D2C. And the second that people aren't buying, like stores aren't buying, that's the end of it.
Yeah, you're cooked.
And have you noticed that there's no Peter Do anyway?
Peter Do has the audience though. So it's like you have the audience, you have customers that really love what you do. They should have invested in that earlier, but they didn't.
I just want to reply to this comment from Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson asks, how does D2C work? D2C just means direct to consumer. So it's when your business model is about, setting up your own website and making sure people buy it directly from you, as opposed to wanting to go to Selfridges to buy something. Because when you're in a retailer, normally you've sold things to them for wholesale, which is like maybe you're selling it for like 40% of the price you would sell it for on your own website. And lots of brands have recently realized that they make a lot more money selling less product to consumers directly for a high markup rather than selling wholesale to these big retailers. Because when a big retailer turns around and says, we don't want to buy it anymore for whatever reason, whether it be COVID or the retailers having financial issues themselves or blah, 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 your brand's kind of stuck because you're like, oh, normally we make 70% of our revenue by selling to Selfridges, and now Selfridges have said, well, they're not buying from us anymore. What do we do? And your brand's stuck, especially if you've already produced the stock. So yeah, direct to consumer.
I've seen it happen so many times.
Countless times.
Even brands I like so many brands are packed up that way. I'll give you a recent example because this is a brand that I talk about. So there's a brand, for people that don't know, called Isabel Beninato. They make really good knitwear. Big fan of Isabel Beninato. They had like one bad wholesale year that almost like completely just like removed the brand from existence, because one season people just decided our customers kind of have your knitwear already. There's nothing kind of different in this new season. We're not buying. And almost every single store was saying that, including some stores that are owned by my friends, because I wanted to buy some more knitwear and they're like, oh, we didn't buy this season. And I'm like, then I went to the next person. Do you have Isabel Beninato? Oh, we didn't buy. People didn't buy this season. And then before you know it, they're like in serious financial difficulty. But because Isabel Beninato has a husband who works in like factories and owns a factory and all these things, he could kind of help keep her afloat. A lot of people are not in that position. If Isabel Beninato was someone else, that brand would have gone under completely. So this is exactly like what we're talking about.
And I think ironically, it sounds funny, but ironically, that's where a lot of these Instagram brands that's where a lot of their success comes from. The fact that the concept of having a brand run via Instagram, the very premise of it is D2C. And I have friends who run brands off Instagram. It would make you sick if you see how much revenue some of these guys are pulling in.
They make so much money.
It would make you sick. And ironically, the difference between them and say someone who's undergone formal fashion design and come from a typical fashion background, historically, the typical fashion background kind of wires you to want to be doing this wholesale and blah 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 blah, because that's what all we've known for a long time. That's how you build a brand. Oh, I get some buzz at CSM from my master's collection, and then hopefully I work blah 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 blah, and then maybe I can get stocked in Selfridges for a little bit, and then blah 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 blah. When realistically, Phil Peters living up the road, who sold 200 units of his knitwear like sweater on Instagram that he makes for $15 a piece and sells them for $80 a piece, is pulling in the bread. Like,
Yeah.
I think just to interject, like I can probably give a bit more detail on it from like a buying side as well. I think the whole premise of wholesale, especially in the past, has been a case of you got to go in these like historic landmark stores. Like it was like, I am in Selfridges, I am stocked in Essence. Like it's a big talking point, and that would bring in more attention to your brand. And I think now, just the way that the market is, I just don't think it has that appeal anymore to like a consumer caring that you're in that store. And then, oh God, my voice going, Jesus. Then it's also like, it's like you're saying, it's that reliance. I've been in a lot of meetings that have been incredibly difficult to sit through, where you're having the conversations about dropping a brand, and this isn't even like the brand talking to you. This is the rep from the brand talking to you, and they are begging you. And like you lose the sense of these individuals, like when we talk about it on a wider spectrum and like the fashion industry. But it is horrible telling these people that their product isn't selling and you're not going to buy it anymore. And they are just like, well, that's my job. And it's so crazy to think that like it can just be like, oh yeah, they didn't buy it this season, bye. Like it's that cutthroat, especially right now.
It's crazy. The amount of brands that are like, I use Hervia as an example. They dropped Rick Owens for winter this season, and the minute they said they dropped Rick Owens, I knew they were closing.
That's such a bold move as well, like in terms of if you're dropping them.
And it's like Hervia have sold Rick Owens for 19 years.
It's the backbone of their business, surely. Or
Comme des Garçons is, but yeah, it was a huge part of it. I think it made up 20% of their sales. Do you know what I mean? And in 2 years, it went down to less than 5%, and they were still buying the biggest. They were still doing the biggest buy of Rick in the UK outside of a department store. And it's like, yeah, no wonder why they dropped Rick. Do you know what I mean? Because also it then puts these, like, I use Selfridges because I've the yellow one put as an example is like
the yellow one.
You know, if it doesn't sell, they can't pay. They can't pay for the next season.
Yeah.
Because the budget's not there. Like, sorry, we've had a bad, like, if Selfridges has a bad season, or Harrods, or Dover Street, like, your budgets are cut significantly. As a buyer, it's a kick in the teeth. Like, you know, I've been on the sales floor, like, for a brand in a showroom, and they're like, sorry, we've only got 18,000 to spend on new talent this season. And you're like, well, some stores buy £18,000 worth of our stock.
Yeah.
You know?
And something that people don't know also is that sometimes like these department stores can pay late, and it has a ripple effect because, like, let's say a brand needs to produce the next collection, but then they don't have the money from the stores. Now they can't produce the collection, so they don't have a collection for a show, so then they can't show at Fashion Week, so then they can't sell for the next season. And that's also, I've seen that reason cause brands to close down.
Yeah. No, honestly.
There's a lot of cash flow issues everywhere.
What's little old Henry's brand gonna do when Selfridges are paying 3 months late, 4 months late, 5 months late? What are you gonna do about it?
It's like asking your mate for the 20 quid back. Like, it ain't gonna happen for a while.
Yeah, you just have to pray that like one day they wake up and just send it.
90 days payment terms, guys. That's what the fashion industry lives off at the moment. 90 days, and most of these retailers
they pay.
Can't even meet the 90 days. They can't meet the 90 days. Like, there's a very famous store in Soho that sells a lot of up and coming brands and is owned by a certain investment brand that still haven't paid for some of their stock from 2-3 seasons ago.
Sold.
You know, like,
it's a very
it's
specific
like-
place in Soho.
If we want to talk a bit more about like the industry,
let's
in
just say it
general,
used to be machine. Hey,
Oh my word!
Yeah, but as I was saying, just like if we want to talk about the industry a bit more in general, I feel like there's a lot of this is, in my opinion, very dependent on the way that these not wholesales, but these department stores and retail spaces essentially buy the product. That I think for a long time, the buying model has been about width and depth and having everything, and your consumer being able to go on your website and see countless SKUs for a black shoe. They've got so many options, and I think just it's completely flipped on its head now. I think there's a real desire almost for that curation, that attention to detail, the hyper focused retail space that knows exactly what their customer wants, and their customer walks in there and comes out with 6 items that they're in love with, but maybe they only had 8 pieces in there, which obviously is a bit of an exaggeration.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a really sorry, and then I am going to go because it's past my bedtime. Is that
You have a bedtime, fam?
babes? I'm unemployed. There is
You
no
seem
bedtime.
too,
Do you know
you
what I
seem
mean?
too sophisticated for a bedtime.
No, I'm just gagging to get back to season 2 of Lost.
Oh, you're watching Lost? Oh,
Yeah,
good luck.
mate, I'm already lost. Do you know what I mean? But what something you Dammy was saying earlier, and then I will go, is like they were saying about like during financial crisis, like the middle class and like people that were aspirational, they can't buy anymore because they can't afford clothes, right? That's basically what he was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
And the wealthy are still spending loads of money, and we see this with the price hikes because the wealthy are still going to pay the prices, right? But I was thinking about the phrase stealth wealth. Do you remember Phoebe Philo when she came out with financial crisis? It was stealth wealth. Now it's going back to stealth wealth of the row. The only stealth of wealth is the fact that these rich people are still spending 200k at Dover Street every week on a bracelet. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's the stealthy thing. The stealthy thing is like they could be, and I hate to use this stereotype, a very gaudy like UAE client, right? Who wears their wealth quite obviously, right? Or did. It's slightly changing, but whatever. You know they're rich, but they are still spending. Like I have stories about one of my family members works in security with certain families, and they give each member of the family when they arrive in London £19,000 a day. Right.
Disgusting.
Do you know what I mean?
Insane.
That's insane, and that's like the smaller level. Like it goes up to like 100 grand a day. Like that's the stealth wealth. We already know they're rich, but the real wealth is the fact that you don't realize how much they're spending. Do you know what I mean? Like the only thing keeping department stores alive are the top 10 clients or top 100 clients.
And I've been saying this. Anyone who's been in the last 10 live streams knows I've been saying this for ages. Like that all these brands.
Dover Street during 2021, when COVID started to like get a bit better, basically survived off 3 clients in London, and all 3 of them didn't live in London.
That's insane.
Because they were dropping 200k a week, and so it's paying everybody's wages and the rent.
Yeah,
like mad. Now I'm done. I'm gonna watch Lost. Bye, guys.
Peace out.
I wouldn't know what to do with 19k.
We appreciate your
I would.
contributions.
Oh, babes.
Yeah, we love you,
like it was going out of fashion.
I know exactly what I was doing with his 19k a day. He's waiting for 10 days to go past, so he has 190k. Then he's immediately dropping it on a 911
Thank you.
On a Porsche 911. In fact, if he's on 90k a year, on 19k a day, he'll probably wait 24 days maybe, so he can get a Turbo S instead, even though he's
Thank
not
you.
normally interested in that model.
No, guys, this is too much cars. This is too heterosexual for me. Sorry.
Like cars. Oh no, straight man.
I have my favourite cars, but it's a Mini Cooper. Do you know what I mean, babes?
Oh,
Do you
my
remember that
God.
primary school joke people used to ask? They're like, do you like BMWs or Minis? Do you remember that one?
I was about to say something way too horrible.
I think I do, but I would just love you to repeat it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll keep the stream PG today. No, I won't be flashing anyone on stream today. Don't worry, chat.
That was
it's a Mini.
hilarious.
Nah, cars are another. If you can afford a £2,000 car, you ain't worrying about the economy.
Yeah, of course not.
Mad.
Absolutely, of course not.
Oh,
But yeah,
facts.
anyway, see you later, guys. Bye.
Peace out, Finn.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good evening, night, morning.
Oh yeah, by the way, everyone subscribe to Henry Lowe's YouTube channel.
Henry,
I'll
no,
put
in
on
fact,
the- on the
pull it
screen.
up on the screen, fam. Well, Henry, talk us through some of your favorite videos on your channel. That's gas
My
to start.
favourite
He's about to
videos.
hit
Put it on the
500 subs. I really want Henry to cross that threshold, fam.
Henry, you should hire Micah as like your PR.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
insane at PR and consulting, fam.
Unpaid intern. Thinking about there being no money in the industry. Put me on the spot now. I'm going to chat about it.
Yeah, fam. Henry's got
Yeah,
some
I
good
mean-
videos, man.
Yeah. I mean, the most
It's
two
a-
recent uploads, brands you need to know about, probably sort of speaks for itself there. I actually find that my favorite video I've worked on recently has been, I do like a bit of a news roundup on my TikTok every week, just flicking through, you know, what's going on in the industry, and then sort of tested out doing a overall monthly roundup of that. And I just think it's really interesting to see sort of the narrative and see what's going on and sort of going into more detail about it rather than short snippets that obviously work better in longer form content. But
Right.
in general, it's very fashion orientated videos, some tips, some tricks, and then just some other details about things, drip feeding different stuff through. But I've got plenty of ideas that I'm looking to bring to fruition. So yeah, stay tuned for some bangers.
Since
great.
Henry's someone that's in buying, I've noticed a lot of Henry's quite good at, you know, like summarizing the state of the industry at a given point and just saying, oh, you know, this is what happened this week. And it'll be a bunch of stuff you didn't quite realize, but makes a lot of other things come to sense. So he's active on TikTok too, guys, if you want to hit him up there.
On the talk. For however long that's still about. But yeah.
I know, right? It could be banned in the US and then banned in, yeah. We'll see.
We'll wait and see. I mean, I like it. I like my funny videos. It makes sense for me.
Oh, Leah's asking me to put on the Burberry lookbook. You know what? I haven't actually
Which
looked
one?
at it.
Which
The
one?
new one, the latest one.
See, this is how you get me and Henry excited, because you don't understand. I reckon about 40% of
our
our
back
conversation
and
went
forth for the
about
past
Burberry.
week.
Just
The
with
Burberry love
Burberry.
is real. I will die on a Burberry hill right now. They already have been getting absolutely cooked.
Oh, okay. So this is today. This is literally today. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah. Well, technically yesterday, obviously, it's 10 minutes gone, but yeah.
Oh, it's a resort thing. Okay.
Yeah. Because
I don't
obviously
know
in
if
the
I-
last stream, we talked about Burberry's bad financial situation and, you know, all the issues with like the way they're trying to market and stuff like that. So in the context of everything that's going on.
For context of that last stream as well, I went into the store last week. They've got a 40% on sale on in the store.
Oh, wow.
So that backs up some of the stuff we were saying. But
Bro,
it was
should I
in
don't
store
forget?
only, I think.
I haven't shown you the red hat yet.
Oh, what? Has it come?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, please put it on, because the chat are
Yeah,
always accusing
one
me
sec.
of being the flexer. So get Henry's
No,
got
I'll
some
go get
Burberry
it,
for
bro.
you lot, guys.
Bro, but the thing is, I've because I'm debating between that one and the really big one, and I can go and get the obnoxiously
Yeah,
big one.
but go get both of them. Go get both of them.
All right, 2 seconds.
Yeah, 40 to 50%, mate, off
So yeah,
Burberry. alone, man.
40% sale is insane.
Some stuff are as high as 50%.
That is insane. 50% off in store. That's actually wild.
Wait, is links in chat off?
I'm
Let's
not
see.
sure.
I'll post it. And see
Try
if
it.
Oh, you know what? I can't even. The link's way too long.
Go on, like, you know, those
like this
links
look.
short on their websites.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
The thing about Daniel Lee's Burberry is like, I like a lot of it because it's just like very classic. Some parts of it is kind of like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, even though I don't think it will catch on, like the Burberry blue and like certain things that he's trying to push.
I think the Burberry blue, I think they call it night blue, is strong, man. I don't know why it's not like.
I just don't
doing
think
as
it's going
well.
to catch on.
Yeah, I was. That's what I was saying. I don't know why it's not doing. I thought it'd be doing better. Is my point.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hello.
This looks so bizarre on here, man.
Man's on
looks like
screen with
he's
the full
about to
Burberry
go-
on.
He's about to go fox hunting on a very, very cold winter's day.
And then this
And
is
then
the
this
red
is
one.
the red one. The red one is a hell of a lot smaller, actually. Which I'm not really a fan
But
of
still-
the dark on it.
But really, you don't like this one?
I way prefer the bigger one.
Really?
I like the
I think
bigger
it's
one
neck and
because
neck.
it just looks so like obnoxious, but in a good way.
No, I think that's what you're going for with it, though. You want the
Yeah.
obnoxious nature of it, and by having it so much bigger, it's like, oh shit, you know.
Oh, I like those shoes. The resort collection looks how I thought it'd look. These lots said Len and Lancy are finna go crazy in that hat. I'm dead.
Nancy Foe and Len. Len loves a trapper hat, doesn't he?
Even
That's
Clint,
like,
fam.
yeah. Leo's tapped in though. Len. I didn't know my audience knows about Len.
I feel like I've
That's-
missed this entire lookbook.
Yeah, it's just resort stuff, Henry.
Yeah, it's
This is the
very
thing with
commercial.
resort. When we're
and-
talking about it, I'm a bit like, is resort really, quote, resort anymore? Is it just another way to push
No, it's
some
just more
product on
product.
the
It's
buyers?
just more
Yeah.
product.
At this point, it's just here's a capsule collection that we didn't spend much time thinking about. But buy it if you want to. That's kind of how I look at resort collections.
Yeah. I think with the creative direction for Burberry, this resort collection is not really making sense with it, but I feel like it's
quite disconnected from what he's been doing at Burberry so far.
I'd agree.
It looks extremely disconnected. This is probably the look, like this skirt. He's kind of been doing this like wraparound skirt thing. He's been doing at Burberry.
No,
but
this
like the
look,
other
this
piece-
look happened to be one that was very on brand.
Yeah. That look, yeah. But like stuff like this,
I don't know.
Just
That's how the
looks
menswear
like-
looks now, though. No.
not really. His menswear is a bit more interesting. Like the runway, the stuff I see on the
Yeah.
runway.
Is Burberry not older than Ralph Lauren, or am I tweaking? I thought Burberry's significantly older than Ralph Lauren.
Way older. What? Way older.
Yeah. I'm just replying to the chat because chat was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
okay.
Burberry's the Brits' answer to Ralph Lauren," but Burberry is significantly older than Ralph Lauren.
If anything, Ralph is actually inspired by like British aristocracy and stuff like that. That's literally the premise of the brand. It's kind of like selling this dream of like this British aristocratic way of living. That was kind of like the dream that Ralph was always selling through his brand. And then he kind of went to the UK, packaged it, and then brought it back to the US, and it kind of took off. It's so funny. Is the most ironic thing about Ralph's brand is that he packaged that thing so perfectly that the royal family literally started wearing it. That's the funny thing, because members of the royal family wear like purple label.
The thing that
I think
I
they were in
find
the
really
last runway
interesting-
though, or the runway before.
What was that? Sorry, Micah.
These coats, I swear they were on the runway before.
I think there was something similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I guess talking about the history of Burberry and stuff. This was something new I learned for quite recently, but they invented or created gabardine.
Yeah, they did.
That's how you
I didn't
pronounce
know
it.
that.
They did.
I didn't know that.
So like that's why I had a very interesting argument with some guy on TikTok, which is never the platform to be arguing with anyone.
Yeah, TikTok and Twitter are two places you should just never argue with someone.
But when I was talking about Burberry and he was saying he I don't know whether I'm wrong for this, but he was under the impression that Burberry is Gorpcore. And I said, no, it's really not.
What?
And his argument was that it's Gorpcore because they come from a history of outerwear and this gabardine fabric. And I was like, I don't really see the links
they
there,
weren't.
man.
But people weren't hiking in Burberry though.
I think also, oh wait, let me enter my podcaster mode since we're in after hours more or less. Right, let me just, hey guys. I think I've realized that because obviously so many things in fashion these days are buzzwords, Gorpcore being one of them. I think people think that anything that has function just automatically is Gorpcore. So like a trench coat at the end of the day has function. So I think people are just like, oh, it has function, it must be Gorpcore.
I think, I don't know, I feel like it's probably quite a negative opinion, but I think a lot of people, especially with the shift we saw in fashion and people being interested in it during COVID and lockdown and stuff, I feel like for a lot of people, Gorpcore was their first real, I guess, snippet.
It's because of my boy's song Arc'teryx, when niggas were going in the shower and pouring
that
water
was
on
hilarious.
their
When people are going in the shower and like showering in Arc'teryx, that was funny.
Once I saw that. Now I think as well, I agree with you, Henry, and it tied into everyone just had way too much money in COVID as well, and nothing to do. So suddenly everyone wants to
furlough was coming crazy.
Yeah, suddenly everyone wants to start dressing. Everyone wanted to be a dresser. Shout out Anne. Is your name Anne? Bro, put this comment on the screen. They're shouting us out.
Hey guys, discovered you. Love it. Feels like the community I didn't know I needed. Thank you very much for being part of the community. The live streams are a community actually, so it's,
no cap. And it's like
it's always
you
fun.
guys are superior to the people who watch it like afterwards when it's been cut up into a video already. You lot are superior to them still. That's why you guys have all the lingo.
You see everything as it happens, and also when I cut the live streams into smaller videos, I don't cut every single aspect of the live, so people miss a lot of context and stuff.
They don't get, and they don't get our humor as much in the shorter videos. I feel like,
yeah,
I'm very unserious. As anyone on live knows, I'm extremely unserious.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a incorrect food delivery turn up to my door, and being the nice guy I am, I said it's not for us.
But I would have. Oh wait, you told. Okay, fair enough. You're a nice guy, better than me,
bro. I'm like, the guy had a full KFC, and I don't know, but I'm just not in the mood to scran it right now on stream. So
fair enough.
I can't exactly go, what's in the order? Sorry. Pick out
I've
the best
eaten
bit.
on stream before. These lot know I've eaten on stream before.
Micah, Leo is atting you.
For what?
He called you a delivery demon.
Wait, how did I even get this title, fam? What did I do? I say that, but I just had Popeyes before the stream.
Yes, this is true. It's my first time being in here live. I usually watch the vids afterwards. Yeah, well, welcome to the live. Like I said, some people watch the videos when I clip them. Some people watch the lives, but
Tell us,
would
in fact,
say the lives are more interesting. What would you say
tell
is the
us if you
biggest
prefer.
difference? Yeah, what do you prefer? What's the biggest difference, watching it live or watching the videos?
Yeah, film was jokes, man.
Yeah, Finn
I feel
is
like
hilarious.
live, just the interaction's always good, right?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
cap.
Exactly. And I like the format because some people really hate that I do live streams. People like just make the videos. But it's just like I prefer lives because you can communicate with people in real time, so it's a lot more interesting. And you can respond to what people are saying in real time too.
If you don't mind baiting out your place of employment, Billy, where are you working these days? Or like what type of place, if you don't want to tell us the exact place?
Hunnit says, love bro, been subscribed for a few years now, and to see the growth and education you provide is peace. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It's actually crazy because when I started my channel, I was just like a guy really interested in fashion, and I'd done a few internships. And then if you followed the channel, you followed me go to CSM and work in fashion and work at like BOF and navigate the whole thing. It's quite crazy.
You've got that
Okay.
like natural progression with you.
Yeah.
Man said he's involved with the audience, you know. Bro, see, on live is the only place where I have all these sorts of allegations held against me. Leo said I'm Vlad because I'm asking about my boy's place of employment. I'm Vlad.
Basically, you're a
See,
Vlad.
I'm new to this. I need to get a scoop on all the lingo. So,
oh my God, Henry, where do we even begin?
Micah
two
told me about the urban.
Yeah, so the urbans.
Stuff.
Micah, what
The
did you tell
urbans,
him?
I like that.
Yeah,
the
urbans
urban
with a hard
with
ER.
the ER. So you've got the urbans. Oh yeah, because there's some new people on this live stream. So people that watch the lives are called the urbans. The reason why they're called the urbans is because there was one time in a live stream where we were talking about how, you know, when people want to refer to like black people or just like street culture, they always say, you know, it has very urban sensibilities because they don't want to say black. They want to beat around the bush. So because we just find that so funny, because we were saying that it's basically like saying the N word with a hard ER, but instead of saying that, you just say urban. So now we just say urban, but we spell it ERBAN. So that's stream law. We've got Crick Owens, which is very long stream
that's
law.
Deep law.
That's a long story. That's like
law.
deep law. We might have to do that another day.
What else is that? Oh yeah, so Leo, the person who is now Luke brackets Leo, and he's our resident hater.
Yeah. So Leo is part of the law. Leo is our professional hater in the stream. Leo hates everything.
But Leo's allowed to hate everything because
apart from John Galliano or Alexander McQueen. Apart from that,
yeah.
And by Alexander McQueen, I mean Sarah Burton and Lee himself, not
Wait, actually,
not McQueen now.
Leo, do you like Rick or not? Remind me.
Actually, that's true. I don't know if Leo likes Rick. Like Leo hates Scaparelli.
Oh, and Yoji.
Oh yeah, Leo likes Yoji. Yeah.
But like when we start talking about like Scaparelli or Iris Van Herpen, this guy will start tweaking. he'll be complaining about how much he hates them and their designs, fam.
Yeah, Leo doesn't like Miss Sohi at all.
Okay, yeah. Leo loves Rick. Fair. That makes sense.
Okay, early Rick especially. The Daniel Roseberry hate makes me sick.
Yeah, it's because everyone else, we all just like Daniel Roseberry except for Leo.
Yeah. Okay, Leo likes all Japanese designers, so like Rei Kawakubo and Yoji.
Junior, Chitose Abe,
yeah.
Kanemini.
Leo, do you like Undercover?
Oh, Leo doesn't
so he
Raf.
likes all the Belgians apart from Raf. So he likes Walter and Anne and Dries, but no Raph. Great.
And Marina Yee.
So yeah, Leo is definitely part of our stream law. I'm trying to
Jun
think what other
Takahashi.
stream law do we
But
have.
Jun's Japanese as well, yeah, first.
Oh yeah, the
Wait,
stream
okay,
went on
wait.
Steph website.
Is it a hot take to like? Wait, let me see if I get cooked for this. Actually, is it a hot take that Leo likes Jun Takahashi but doesn't like Raph Simmons? Or am I tweaking? I feel like if you like one, you like the other.
No, I don't agree.
What was that? Sorry, I missed it.
Because
you like-
Undercover is like quite okay, I'll put it this way. Raph Simmons' reference points are like UK bands, youth culture, certain graphic designers, certain like time periods, whereas Undercover is a bit more to me. Undercover is like Raph, but even more intellectual and even more experimental. So I think they're completely different.
That's valid. That's valid. But I think it's interesting. It's not
because Undercover, like Jun he's inspired by like movies or like
the thing. Okay, let's put it like this.
by,
A lot of the things I like about Undercover are what I like about Raph. So that's why I was like,
there's like some overlap in terms of that sense, you mean?
Yeah.
There is some overlap, I agree. There is some overlap.
I don't know. Personally, I always feel like the stuff Undercover are doing is a bit more, I don't know,
it's more interesting.
A bit more out there. A bit
more
like,
interesting. It is more
there's
interesting.
a bit more of a
especially
story
like
to tell
present day
with it.
Raph. Especially like present day Raph.
I mean, Raph basically doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking about like Prada.
Mucha, bro. Man just
yeah, unless we're
Mucha
talking
now.
about Prada.
Making bread. I don't even want to know his salary, fam. I know it's disgusting.
Yeah, now Undercover is like having butterfly compartments and doing all sorts of experimental things.
Oh yeah, Understitch. When Understitch was in the chat, that was legendary. To be fair, you're right, Leo.
Yeah. Someone said 2000s June was better. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all these lot. Realistically, I don't even understand how these people design for like over a decade. Like, how do you just still have ideas?
Yeah,
how have you not spent everything?
Amazing.
I think that's something that a lot of people underestimate, like in terms of when we talk about these designers and critique them, that at the end of the day, like the stuff that we are trying to almost get out of them season on season, year on year, like it's incredible if they manage to keep up with it all. Like it's a real testament.
My respect for any designer who's designed in excess of 10 years and continues to put out like interesting stuff is immense. And that's why even if you fall off after like, for me, after like 8, 9, 10 years, if you start falling off, I don't even feel some type of way. Because especially if you were putting out 3, 4 collections a year for a decade, are you insane? How can I be mad after that? Like, do you know what I mean? I'll just be like, retire. That's what I'd say. I'd be like, just retire. That's how I felt about Raph. I didn't even feel type of way when Raph's brand ended because I was like, well, he was past his prime anyway. It's just for the best.
And obviously that was, to be fair, financial difficulties. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
that I know to be a fact.
Yeah, facts.
Doesn't understand new uploads.
Now, you know what it is? When I log into YouTube, for some reason, the upload button is actually missing, guys. I need someone to help me find it.
This guy, man.
I love that every stream Micah gets roasted about not posting, and then he's like, I'm gonna work on. See, that's part of stream law. Micah saying, I'm working on a new video, guys. I'm working on a new video and
coming.
never
Watch
posting.
This space.
Guys, big things are coming, guys. Watch this space, guys. Oh, Leo hates Naomi Campbell now. Gee.
To be fair, Naomi Campbell, I respect her as like a iconic, obviously, supermodel and stuff. But I've heard way too many stories behind the scenes of her just being an awful person.
No, that's valid. But if we're talking about her talent on the runway, she still has it, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So it just depends from what angle you're looking at it from.
Also, I heard... actually, let me just chill.
To be fair, a moment that I love is when she came late to an Alexander McQueen show, and Alexander McQueen was like, fuck that. And then he just started the show. I love that shit. I love that.
Yeah, but that's
shit.
the most Alexander McQueen thing ever.
He did not care. Like, I love that shit so much because Naomi probably is so used to everyone accommodating her. She can just stroll in late. Like, sometimes you get a bit too big for your boots, and I think what McQueen did was like bring her back down to earth for a second.
Leo, I think the reason she walks every show is because I heard. Now you know what? Let me just type in chat.
I know what you're
Campbell
gonna
comes in. You know what I'm gonna say.
The same reason she took the creative director, or what was it, Pretty Little Thing, or what was it?
Yeah, bro, that's the same reason.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. Leo said my favorite thing. Okay, McQueen. For bloody hell, I was gonna say.
Yeah, McQueen did like Kate Moss, to be fair, that's true.
Kate Moss is tough as hell, though, no?
Yeah, of course. Kate Moss is like the poster girl for like the heroin chic type shit.
100%.
Who are we talking about here? It's quite how social she is.
What is it? Naomi is an old friend's half sister. She's actually super cool. If you're saying Naomi is super cool, I mean, if you're meeting her through family, obviously she's going to be nice. But I think a true test of if someone is nice or not is when they're in a setting where they can feel like people are beneath them, or they can feel like they don't have to talk to anyone, or they don't need to. That's when you get a true sense of like what someone's like. And in those settings, yeah.
It's Scaparelli girls all day. What do you mean? That shouldn't even be a question, fam. Scaparelli girls over Burberry girls. Easy. No, it goes Scaparelli girls, Loewe girls, and then like everyone else.
No.
Oh dear Lord. What's going on?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can definitely not want to talk to people, but because I don't want to, like, once again, I don't have the freedom of Finn, but like Naomi, in some situations, she acts like everyone's beneath her. Like, it's the way she moves. I'll just put it that way. Like I said, my statement's up for interpretation. You are not a serious person.
This guy, man.
Well, Micah, in general, because obviously Burberry collection on the screen, what do you think about Burberry? Like, have you been a fan of a lot of the stuff since Daniel Lee went there?
You know, I'm a Burberry guy. The chat already knows I'm a Burberry guy still. But I think it's
do you have any pieces yet?
We're working on it. Me and Henry are working on it at the moment. We're working on it. I actually really like it. Bear in mind though, as well, like we were saying last live stream, the weird thing is some of the stuff I like hasn't even hit the store yet because I don't know what they're doing with the production or with like rolling out the collection or whatever. But no, I do like the stuff.
It's been an incredibly slow rollout.
Yeah. I think it's just techie with the whole finances and blah 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 blah. Like the more I look at the situation, the more I fear that they're just gonna fire this guy, whether or not it's his fault. Yeah, but we'll see. I hope there's a few more collections out of Daniel Lee before anything does or doesn't happen.
The thing that I find with the whole, like, I guess the commentary a bit there of, oh, this guy's not got long left, like it's not working, etc., etc. I'm just a bit like, for me, this is quite a big project they've taken on board, you know, reinventing the Burberry print. There's a lot of different things they've put in place to really change, I guess, the core message of Burberry and what they stand for. To seemingly ditch it after, realistically, what's it been? Maybe 2 years, 24 months at a push. Like, it seems almost a more weak move than potentially keeping him on board and like trying to make something of it. But then,
Well,
it's
that's
like
what
we've
I
touched
think
on
as well.
before,
But brands are
like,
weird. That's like part of why
Mhm.
channels like this can exist, because brands are weird and do weird things, like fire
Yeah.
people after one
I mean,
collection.
yeah, 40% discount is never gonna be looking good for your brand.
Yeah, in the
Exactly.
main store, that's insane.
40, 50%.
That's
Guys, I tried on. Wait,
insane.
let me show you some heat that I'm trying to get. Oof.
Have you got the picture of you in the blue jacket from when we went, Micah?
Oof. Someone's just invited me
that
over
was-
for some tea, lads.
Mike
Doesn't
is
get more
not a
British
serious
than this,
human
does it?
being.
Really?
Oof.
Burbs
Wait,
and
let
tea.
me tell her I'm live streaming.
Micah's messaging the baddies midstream. We see you, Micah. We see you.
Billy,
Yeah,
just
see,
touching on your
Leo's like
comment.
tea in the sauna.
Yeah, that sounds very Micah.
Henry, did Micah tell you about the sauna stuff?
I mean,
I
I've
didn't
heard a
either.
couple of tales, not the full in-depth stuff half the time. So
No, it's because
I
but
feel like now
Henry
you
talks
have
to me
to
on the
tell
daily, innit? So that nigga knows I'm in the sauna like every other day or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm off.
It's because basically one stream, I wanted Micah to hop on, and he was like, "Oh, I'm in the sauna in Soho House." So then I was like, "Mate, just come on the stream, like get out the fucking sauna." And then he finally hopped on the stream, and then he said, "Oh, there was a baddie in the sauna, bro. Like I was talking to this."
He's just mudded in the sauna. Poor
So since
guy,
then,
man.
we've just been roasting him about he's always talking to baddies in a sauna.
The thing is, though,
I feel like that's a real
wait,
recipe
I
for a
linked her the
humbling
next-
experience.
we got dinner and then we got dinner and then we went to the sauna afterwards. On God, God's my witness. We got the week after. We got dinner and then we went to the sauna.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and I flashed the chat. No chat. I saw these loafers in Burberry. Let me show you guys. They're kind of like the Martine Rose ones. I want to get them, but they're not.
Oh,
on discount.
are those the snake skinny ones?
Yeah, these snakeskin loafers.
Clean.
These are tough as hell.
Yeah, I like the shape of them. I think
wanna
you sent me a picture of you wearing them. Actually, they're really nice.
Yeah. No, I want them.
See,
Like, they're
Finn
just
knows.
clean.
Finn said Soho House White City sauna has so many.
Oh, okay,
baddies.
Finn knows. Let's go. You're baiting out my Soho House, but it's all right. It's all right.
He's leaking the tech.
That's where the heat is. Now Finn knows. You always, whenever I'm in the sauna, I have to lock in. Just make sure I look at my phone. I'm not looking around too much. Don't want to get distracted.
Pause.
That is hilarious. Yeah, Finn is gay. Finn,
Yeah, but Finn
Finn
can still
Finn
tell you
is
if
gay,
someone's
but
a
he
baddie
can
or
still
not. Yeah.
identify baddies.
Exactly.
Just because Finn is gay doesn't mean Finn can't identify baddies.
In fact, the men in there are quite handsome too, if I do say so myself.
If anything, I would say that most of my gay friends, like, especially like someone like Hanan is like, has a very strict eye when it comes to baddies compared to me.
Strict eye. That's crazy.
That's the best way to put it.
Strict
I feel
eye.
like all my gay friends, when it comes to like women, they're more picky, and it's like, oh my god, Jesus Christ.
Strict eye is crazy.
Yeah, Finn says, I know a baddie when I see one.
Rightfully so.
That's funny. That's actually too funny.
Finn, I've just clocked you've got the same last name as Cora. Is that a coincidence?
Oh, new law
Oh,
development.
Yeah, innit? That'd be new law development for real.
What did Finn say? I think I've got higher standards for women than I do men. That seems to be the case for almost every gay guy I know, to be fair. I don't know why that is. Maybe, Finn, you can explain that to us. Here,
Ah.
Market goes being Vlad.
I can't ask anyone a question now on my Fed. Meanwhile, these guys are asking me about my personal life. They're asking me what school I went to, fam.
That was funny.
Vincent, me and Cora under NDA. Sold.
That's an interesting comment about Peter Doe.
Let's see.
Nothing
Has anyone
on
else seen
sale.
Wait, what is Leo saying? As a gay man, I think a lot of gay men want to be women, low key.
That's crazy.
I
That
cannot
is a-
comment on that. As someone that is not part of that community, that is a conversation between you and Finn. Okay, Finn wants to hop back on. Yay!
Let's go.
Let's go. Wait, what did she say? Because the gay guys are comparing us to their favorite pop diva fantasies. That's funny. That is actually way too funny. I love the fairy light. I can tell you're in touch with your feminine side. Yeah, I'm in touch. I'm very secure in my masculinity.
Fam, I think
Thank
they're talking
you for
to me.
noticing.
I think they're talking to me. Thank you very much. Because I don't see any fairy lights in
talking-
your room, fam.
There's fairy lights in the background, mate.
Bro, why are you capping?
I need to take your credit, bro.
Gaslighting us live.
On stream. In fact,
I
haven't done my
gaslight you for before you realize.
I haven't done my regular stream flex. Let me find something to flex to the stream. Oh yeah. I found something.
Hey, ladies.
Finn, hello.
Hiya, man.
Sorry, made me lost.
I was supposed to flex these last stream, but they weren't in the box. But stream.
Oh, here we go.
I'll make a video about these at some point. These are
Here we go.
probably my
yes,
favorite shoes in my
100%.
collection.
What are
Some
Are
Churches
they-
X Off-White.
they? Oh my god. Scott and Brett have them. Oh yeah.
Is it? Do they
Oh
actually?
yeah, that is
I haven't actually
right
met
up
anyone
their
else with
alley
them.
though.
They were hashtag gifted though.
Really? I wasn't so
Hashtag.
lucky. I went into the store, mate. Paid full
Yeah.
price for these Johns.
Can't relate. Don't do that anymore. I ain't paying full price for fuck all. Oh, gay men. Sorry.
Yeah, gay man. You're our gay man
Oh
consultant,
yeah, the
Finn.
chat is going crazy.
Normally
Personal-
it's Hanan, but you swap places.
Yeah, but you know what? Like Hanan can't think he's a bottom because he'll get like scared. So, you know, let's talk to me who actually wears dresses because who cares? I don't think gay men want to be women. They're just our best friends. Do you know what I mean? Like,
who was the person that said it? Was it Leo?
I think
So
it was
Leo, there's
Yeah,
your
it was
response.
Leo.
You guys can have a gay off.
no, I don't even have a gay because I mean, I kind of get it from perspective like societally, like, you know, this is so psychology sort of like sociology sort of thinking, but like, it's only been 10 years in the UK that gay marriage has been legalized this year, right? And
That is
like,
insane.
do you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
Wait, guys. I've just had a realization. Gay marriage is as old as Men's Fashion Week.
yeah.
That's
They're the same
insane.
age. They're the same age.
That's insane.
Do you know what, guys? As well, David Cameron.
We're getting too political now.
That's all I'm saying. And he fucks some pigs. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my word.
Nah, but all I'm saying is White City Sauna has some baddies. Especially,
Trust me, I know.
especially because
Trust me, I
anybody
know.
that frequents there will know there's like this little dance that people do, which is they go to the gym, right? They go to the gym and they think, oh, I've sweated maybe a minutiae of a milliliter of sweat. I will now go and put a bikini on and go into the sauna, right? And everybody just fucking sits there with their headphones on, and everybody's hot. And there's me, like an actual heifer lump, right? And I have never seen men and women look that perfect in a gym. They're like insane. All I want to do is my 50 length and go home, and I'm like, fucking hell.
Oh, it's so funny that someone's actually corroborating my sauna story, because I feel like these lot feel like I'm exaggerating.
Nah, they're hot.
Wait,
And-
it actually
and do you
reminds me.
know
I
what,
love
though?
how the gays are overrepresented in the chat. Trust me, it's the same everywhere. I mean, I work in fashion, and oh my god, imagine I was in I went to this like fashion event in the Netherlands, and as always, most of the men were gay. And then one of my friends, he was like, "How does it feel being straight in fashion? Like, do you feel like othered? Do you feel like you're kind of
No, we
left
love
out
straight
in a
men.
lot of conversations?" And I was like, "Not really."
No,
Like,
because
not really.
do you know what though? Do you know what people forget is like men are men, right? And this is going to sound like the most Republican thing I've ever said in my life, right? But like men are dogs. It doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, bi, right? Men are
Okay.
dogs. We have the same mind, right? So all I'm saying is the only difference is that gay men act on their impulses and talk about it. Straight men don't. That's all I'm saying. The amount of cruising, by the way, the amount of cruising that goes on that White City gym is actually a joke.
Michael would
Just saying.
know.
Just saying. The amount of men. Oh my god. Also, you know, like people shit on Soho House.
People have
I mean,
started to, but it's because they're just
I think the
trying
people who
to be
do
like,
aren't members. But yes, continue.
Yeah. So
yeah.
like, I pay my £87 a month for whatever the fuck it is, right? And what I don't get is like I see Tiny Temper in there like on the daily.
Yeah, bro, literally. No, bro. No, the reason why it doesn't make sense to me is because
Where's his gym?
A gym with the facilities like that is already like £50 a month.
In it.
And then, bro, I just go in, I stroll in, you see all sorts of people, just get to chatting. Like, it's so worth it.
Oh, I love it. The people watching is incredible. And there's this one gay guy, right? I won't name names, but he's Arrow.
Well,
right?
there's one gay guy in all of Soho House, yeah?
Mate, all I'm saying is Soho White City is very straight. White City is the straightest out of all of them. That's what I'm saying.
That's valid.
And you
That's
can
funny.
tell he is a Chelsea rich person, right? And he just uses
Yeah.
Soho House. And he walks
Yeah.
in, and I have so much respect for him because most of the time I wear like a Comme des Garçons skirt, and then I walk into like the men's change room. People like stop talking, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then he walks in with a literal diamond encrusted Birkin, right? And I'm like, girl, surely there's a better gym you can go to. Do you know what I mean? And then I realised I know why you're really
a bit more exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that one in Chelsea that's like £300 a month or whatever? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking
What,
about.
David Lloyd?
No, David Lloyd's is not that expensive.
Another one, I think.
David Lloyd
I
is
know.
that expensive.
David
Not
Lloyd's a bit
£300
David
a
Lloyd
month.
is
It's £200 a month minimum.
I thought it was 150 a
Nah,
month.
David Lloyd's serious.
And
Has
don't
it gone
they have
up?
these like crazy contracts?
Yeah, David Lloyd.
that's
And
true.
yeah, you have
Yeah.
to lock in for like 12 or like
They force you
24
into like 12 months or something insane. Like yeah.
Do
David
you know what?
Lloyd's is insane.
David Lloyd makes me laugh because I used to live in North London, right? And sometimes I'd get on the bus and I'd be like, why is there one in Cricklewood? Of all places. Fucking
No
Cricklewood.
location research.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, people ain't got teeth in Cricklewood.
People ain't got teeth. Oh my god! When I was younger, we used to go to David Lloyd's, and then it got too expensive, and my mum was like, "Yeah,
I know when you're young
have to go
and
to
you have a family
somewhere
plan,
else."
it works because
That's probably why.
as well.
That's
But
probably why.
these days on your ones as well, it's like £200 a month. Like Ava has one, and she be dropping bread. In fact, that's probably why she doesn't have a
£200 a month. Wow.
That makes sense why Tiny Temper ain't there because let's be honest, he's not dropped an album in a while.
Oh wow.
The cash flow ain't there no more.
But like, actually, when you think about it, like in terms of just the facilities at like just White City alone,
Bro, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, like, and if you've got an every house, like, I'm like, yeah, I'll go to Shoreditch this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
No, it's worth,
for my
it's worth
one
it.
swim.
IMO.
Yeah, no, it's great. Anyway, that's my little Shoreditch. That's my Soho House.
Oh, this
but-
person knows
okay.
deep Micah law. Dear Lord. They know my phone was stolen on a moped, and they know I have a Goyard duffel. Oh, should I get my Goyard duffel out for the chat? To be fair, it's been in storage for a while.
The stinky Goyard.
I bet it's off like Canal Street in New York.
No, this one isn't a Canal Street job, guys. This is my big red bag. This is my first. Is this my first luxury bag? I think it's my first ever luxury bag.
Yeah, I think you've had the Goyards for a really long time.
Do you like Goyard? I know you've
I
yeah.
don't. Micah does.
I wouldn't
Micah
get
does.
another one. I wouldn't get
You've
another one.
answered my
But
question.
I
then,
do
thank
like
you.
it. But it's also
No.
like way more popular than it was when I bought this.
Oh, I remember, guys. They didn't even have a London store until recently.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Chinese.
I just find I don't know. I feel like it's quite saturated. There's a lot.
And there's
like,
a
I
lot
step
of
into
fakes.
my work and I can't ignore them.
Sounds like Canal Street. It's a Canal Street exclusive.
I think Goyard luggage is a lot nicer than Goyard like regular bags, in my opinion.
The regular bags are too flimsy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Whereas the Goyard is like the luggage is more like I don't know. I prefer it anyway. Famous Dex, you dig? Oh my gosh, I missed that. What an era! Famous Dex and Rich the Kid rapping about Goyard in a store.
I feel like I
What
want to
times
flex
were you
now, but
alive?
I'm in my bedroom. I'm not flexing.
Oh no, whip some stuff out. That's what the live stream's for. So the chat can
Oh yeah,
roast
Well, you
you.
don't
Finn.
have to ask me twice.
I
It's good
like
for
your
law.
hat, by the way. I
Yeah,
think I
your
have
Walter
that
Van
same
Buren
hat.
knock hat. I clocked that right away.
Guys, I got
Yeah.
that for a steal of the season.
Not gonna lie, I really need to understand who we've got in the chat here who just
Yeah,
knows.
I got
life
mine on
story.
sale in like Antwerp, so mine was also a really good steal.
Yeah, I got it wholesale. I was very happy.
Oh, I'm jealous. I don't think I got that good a price, but
Hold on.
wholesale is crazy.
I've got an original.
No, Finn
90s.
Finn has crazy pieces though.
Is
Yeah,
it
but-
Finn? Oh yeah, spill some.
Yeah.
Show us a 2 T.
Show and
Finn
tell.
is always accumulating. Like I genuinely think the last time I saw Finn was probably in Dover Street Market. I think
Yeah, I was shopping.
Fair enough. What buying
Yeah.
pieces?
literally I was shopping, he was shopping. It's like, oh hi.
Oh yeah, and I was wearing my heels.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're shorter than I thought." And I was like, oh, "I'm actually wearing his heels."
It's like actually you're wearing very high heels.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll find something now. Because I've got a wardrobe downstairs, which used to be my office, and now it's my wardrobe.
Oh wow.
I've had
A whole wardrobe on one
actually have got some
floor.
tea. So I left Jordan Luca, and I started selling stuff straight away because I was like, because basically I moved back to Oxfordshire for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll just sell stuff. And somebody from the industry sent me a message like, have you gone bankrupt? Right.
Lol.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. No, genuinely. They were like, have you gone bankrupt?
That's
And I was
serious
like-
allegations.
I was like, no, I haven't gone bankrupt, thank you very much. And I've been selling literally the shittest pieces in my wardrobe. Like, I'm talking about stuff that I've had for 15 years that
Yeah.
are worth nothing. And they were like,
Where have
"How
you
much
been putting it up? Out of curiosity. Because where did they
Oh,
even
just on
see it?
Instagram.
Type shit? Oh, okay.
No,
And it's
Finn
just like-
Finn has a lovely closet.
Oh, I'm about to stalk Finn on IG right now.
And I've never been in it. Hold on. That's a little Margiela bag.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Little.
Cool.
I love those ones. They're like pillowish, the pillow ones.
The best thing that Galliano did at Margiela, in my opinion.
Don't let
I just-
Leo hear you.
I love Galliano's Margiela.
Same.
I'm
I
just
find it
thinking about
weird that like it's big now because I keep saying that like the Swalk stuff was really interesting, and I talked about
He's been
those
doing
a
it.
lot. Yeah.
And also, I think people forget, like, he literally afforded Margiela a new headquarters.
Hmm.
Like,
He must
that
be
man
doing
knows
something
how to
right.
turn fabric into
Wait,
money.
is MM6? Is that synonymous with Galliano, or did it
No.
exist before?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I will
MM6
say that
is a completely different
MM6 is
team.
MM6 is having a strong. They've been like doing really well, to be fair.
The last
Ooh.
runway / float showcase, whatever you want to call it, I thought
Sorry.
was really, really good.
Yeah.
Finn's found another
With the
gem to
Dr.
show us,
Martens
I think.
collaboration. Calvin Klein by Raf.
Oh yeah, I remember this piece.
Yeah.
I've got all three
Goated
colours.
era.
I've got it in
A very
white and
short-lived
pink,
2 years.
white and pink, black and yellow, and
What, that
blue
piece?
and red. Yeah, I got them every colour.
Sold.
I still want those like button-up shirts from Raf's Calvin Klein. Like I could eat up any of those shirts. They're so
I
nice.
can put you up, babe.
Hey, message me after the stream.
I will, because I know you'll fit into them. This I can't show you, but it's like you can't see it, but it's a silk 2020 Rick Owens dress from when he did it in Venice, and I bought that still of that year. I bought it for £87 because it was labelled wrong and it was brand new, except there was a high heel mark on the bottom of the train, and it's 90% silk.
Ooh.
Runway piece, insane. I'm trying to and I think the retail was like £2,500 or something. It was ridiculous.
Cannot complain with that.
Most of it's common. It doesn't really translate.
That's the hat we both have. It's Walter Van Beirendonk.
The one I want is, have you seen that tartan Walter hat with like the two, I want to say peace signs on it, like this? And it's like tartan.
Yeah, they
I've
put it
seen
at
that
Lab
a
Store.
So bad. What did you say?
Yeah.
Ben?
You can get it at Lab Store in London.
What, still?
Yeah, they've got both colours still.
Online, or do I have to go in store?
No, they have it online.
Oh, no way.
And I think it's still reduced as well, so it's like 100, I think.
Oh, I'm about to cook.
All I do is shop,
Like,
guys, so it's
oh,
not
wow,
actually.
this
This
is
is
gonna
like
go
not
in.
fun. Oh, I tell you, this is the last thing, and then I won't talk about my clothes anymore. This, which I wouldn't wear out, is an original 1985, I think it is. Ooh, 1985 Westwood hat.
Oh wow, okay, now he's going in.
And it's the John Bull, which was like the start of British politics, and he wore a specific hat and whatever, and she enlarged it, and it was like, yeah, it's an original. I found it in a charity shop. Mad.
Where? I don't know how.
to-
I don't really understand how people find like luxury pieces like in charity stores anymore. I feel like
Yeah, but
that's
what
very
size
like
is it?
2018.
Yeah.
I think it's twofold. Like my ex was like the size of my wrist. Right. He could fit into anything. Don't matter if it was oversized, doesn't matter if it was too small, it'd still fit him, right? But like the only thing I can buy in charity shops is like if I want a bag, a hat, and maybe a pair of shoes. But you just got to go to rich areas, man.
Like, do people really be like, yeah, fair enough. Maybe I
just don't bother because I assume nothing will be my size.
Exactly.
So that's why I just don't bother. It's normally the people that do, and it annoys me because on Twitter there's like people that are always like, people always say that you have to like spend a lot of money to like dress a certain way, but like I buy stuff in charity shops for like £10. It's like, yeah, but you're literally 5'1". Like everything fits. Like, stop it.
It pisses me off so much. Like as a fat bastard, right? I can tell you, these department stores are doing a 1-2-2-1 buy, right? And that one is an extra large. And if I'm not the one buying it, some other fat fucker's buying it.
The 1-2-1-1 buy is such a good comment.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Crazy.
No, not at all. That's why I love it.
One small, like 2 mediums.
Yeah.
1 XL.
2 larges. 1 extra
2
large.
larges.
Oh, guys, they don't have the colorway I want on Lab Store.
Oh, they've only got the brownie one, I think.
Yeah, I wanted that green one. Have you seen the green one I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I'll have a search for you.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I've got time. I And then Balenciaga sunglasses. That's the last things of today.
That's it.
Clout
No.
glasses, clout goggles.
My clout goggles. Oh, these ones with the retractable
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
flannels. The only good thing they did by buying matches. Cheap sunglasses.
The flannels even make money.
Well, they bought
must do.
they bought matches.
Yeah, they must do. I think
always,
they must,
they're always on
because
sale.
flannels
Every
is
time I
like,
go in there, everything's on sale.
but flannels is owned by what, Fraser's Group, which owns things like
Mhm.
Sports Direct and stuff. So it's like quite
Yeah.
huge.
And let's
Ball
just say
marketing,
flannels
etc.
are cash rich. They're not taking a lot of credit cards. It's
Yeah.
drug dealer chic.
Yes.
Look, and if you work at a department store, you know, like Sundays. I remember when I used to work at a department store years ago. It's the big yellow one. And they would say, "Oh, the urban professionals are going to be in today," and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And they were like, "Drug dealers. It's going to be a lot of cash." And it's true. You'd be surprised. Like
What day of the week is
professional.
it? What day of the week
What,
is
they
it?
just come and drop like 15k cash?
Nah, not that much because at
Like
Selfridges-
2 racks,
Okay.
right?
No, at Selfridges there's like a rule where it's like 9k in cash. You then get a credit check.
Oh,
Credit
okay,
check.
so they just spend just below that.
Yeah, so a lot of them will spend like, and it will be with anybody. It's the same in like I've got friends that work in Harrods and stuff. Theirs is a 16k, I think. And like my friend bought, no, not my friend. My friend works at Laura Piano in Harrods, and this young Middle Eastern woman, she spent, it was 9k in cash, and she had bought a Chanel bag before, and this was just before the Chanel bags became obscenely expensive. And security like surrounded her
Oh,
Whoa.
long day.
and were like, "Can you come into this back room?" And they did a credit check on her.
Wow.
But then she came out and spent more money in cash.
She wasn't even traumatized by security surrounding her. She's like, okay, time to spend more
No.
money now.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Harrods are actually fucking vile when it comes to sorry if anybody works with them. When it comes to profiling, they are the worst out of everybody in the industry.
I never go to
Yeah.
Harrods because I never go to that
Yeah,
side.
I just never
go to
go.
that
I
side of
don't
London.
know.
I don't
Like,
go
if
to
I wanna
Kensington
shop,
no more. don't
I go to DSM,
I didn't
or
go to DSM.
if I
Just get
if
lost
I
in
want to,
Harrods, like legitimately. I do not know where I am
Yeah.
half the time in that store.
I've never, I can't even remember the last time I went there. I genuinely
Ironically,
can't
their
remember.
Rick selection's really good.
Really? If I want
Yeah.
to get Rick, I just get it from a friend who runs a store and he stocks Rick. So if I want anything, he just calls me and he's like, okay, do you want anything from this season? I could get it for you wholesale price. And I'm like, okay, I want that. And then I just get it. So I don't really, if I want to buy Rick, I just buy it through him.
Which, if anybody that wears a lot of any brand does that.
Yeah,
At some point.
literally.
There's a store in Hudson in New York State called Kasuri. And you know that Michelle Ellie? She's the one that wears loads of Comme des Garçons. Do you know her?
Oh,
Michelle Ellie?
yeah.
And she's like, I've got such a
No,
good
Michelle
relationship.
Yeoh.
This is like spilling some tea, but she's like, I've got such a good relationship with Com, which she does. She has a very historical relationship with Com, but she buys all of her runway pieces from this one store in fuck nowhere in New York,
Yeah.
and he gives it to her at wholesale. Like, instead of it being 20k for one of these like art pieces, it's 4k or 5k.
Yeah.
that was wild.
So then it's not really a relationship with Com, it's a relationship with someone that stocks Com.
Exactly.
Which is like me. I wouldn't say I have a relationship with Rick because I don't. It's my
Yeah.
friend who has the relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Michelle, her stuff is amazing. Like, she had that Vogue episode on YouTube, right, where she was like, but yeah, I see her doing Fashion Week all the time.
Yeah.
She's always wearing some like insane com piece.
Her fat American friend that doesn't look like he shaves,
Oh my god!
right, is the owner of that store. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god!
No, he's a lovely guy. Yeah, but I also know that I'm the fat bold cunt that walks around shows. It's like It's like Lucian.
It's
You know
after
what
hours
it is,
for real,
right?
for real.
I've started
No,
to
it
get all
is,
my
it is, it
invites
is.
for the men's through Lucian,
Yeah, yeah.
and I swear to God, John only know like the guy that works there, Jonathan. He only knows me because I'm fat, tall, and bold. Like,
It's like that's my brand now. That's like...
yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, after hours is the thing. Everyone that joins the live stream knows this. We talk about the topic, and then after that, it's just random chat. Everyone knows this by now.
Right, I'm turning this camera off because I'm gonna have to fill up my vape, and it's a bit embarrassing.
Oh, what? Do you have a rig? Do you have an OG vape?
Yeah, I don't do disposables.
Yeah, that's the OG thing.
Micah, who's No Name?
Bro, I don't know. So they clearly know me in real life, or like,
No Name
or
obviously
they
knows
follow me on
everything
Instagram
about
since
you.
like flipping 2019.
Like literally, No Name knows everything about you, bro.
Soon they're gonna bait out my mom's name.
You sounded so manny then.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Yeah, you did actually.
Me mum.
Me mum.
I've lived all over sides of the UK.
Have you
Why are
lived in
you
Manchester?
capping, bro? You didn't live in North London, North England, bro. Why are you capping?
Bro, you're acting like I wasn't in the Midlands for flipping 6 years, fam.
Yeah, Birmingham doesn't count, babe.
The Midlands,
Yeah, the Midlands.
bro.
That's where my
barely.
school was. Are you
I
tweaking?
know, but like,
Are you
bro,
tweaking?
let's be honest. You're in the village, and then you'd come back
No, but
to the
it's
south.
the Midlands. Wait. No, it's the Midlands.
He really said, I go to a boarding school and I was impressioned by the Midlands.
No, it was my school was in the Midlands.
Exactly. The chat's baiting you out, Micah.
No,
I'll let the chat.
where is it then?
You.
Oh dear Lord, okay, I'm gonna have to retire. She's going crazy.
Whoever No Name is, that's insane.
She's going crazy today.
That's insane. That's insane.
Well, on that note.
Alright, Micah, is there anyone you pissed off? Have a think.
I'm having to retire from today's stream, fam. Let me get back into podcaster mode.
That's mad. Man's getting exposed.
Uns was an island in the Midlands, not Midlands. Stop it.
No, but anyway, all that to say,
Micah's
I'm not, because bro, in a week we used to travel around all the way up to like Birmingham, Manny, when we go to different schools, fam.
Yeah,
you're real quiet. You're real quiet now. Yeah, real quiet now, huh?
Micah,
I did Manny for 8 years. All right, I'm a Manny through and through.
Where are you actually from, Finn?
Oxford.
Oh, first.
And then I literally just moved back from London.
Mm.
Only for a few months, then I'll be back in London.
What's Oxford saying these days?
Billy, that's facts. Like No Name is moving like Nardwar.
Real. Do. You one day.
Oh, no. Yo, that's crazy.
Oh my word.
That's crazy.
The nectarine, you should have said sent by iPhone.
That's crazy.
Also, Oxford's fine. I just keep going to Soho Farmhouse.
Oh, is it? I've still never been. Is that any good?
Well, I live next to it, so yeah, it's fine. This is the only thing stopping me moving back is I don't pay rent.
Yeah, that's valid though.
That's
That's
very
a valid reason.
But the commute kills me. So like, I only go in to see clients, then I'm like, I'm coming back to London. I'm coming back to Oxford.
How long?
But then you miss out on all the social life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do know what you mean.
Train from Oxford shouldn't be too far though. Maybe an hour.
It's 48 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But it's just like, it's not cheap.
It's quicker than traveling from one side of London to the other.
babes, I used to live in North. Do you imagine getting to Central? It takes an hour.
Oof.
Well,
I used to live
yeah.
this. I will never forget this. I used to work in Ladbroke Grove, right? And I lived in North, and it was 2.5 miles to get to work, and it took in the mornings an hour and 30 minutes.
Mm.
And I just started
Dang.
like, I would just fucking cycle. In the end, I'd get a line bike. I'd be there in 25 minutes.
No, the weird thing about London is like, to be fair, this will be interesting to like the Americans we have in chat. No, what's weird about London is like sometimes the way the public transport is. Let's say I want to get from here to here, because of the way public transport is set up, I might have to go like this or stuff like that. So like,
And if you
I'm
drive, you
based
could
in,
just like go,
yeah,
across
if
the
you're
bridge
driving,
or
you could
something.
just do it easily.
Yeah.
But obviously, no one really here drives because there's all sorts of like fees and charges you have to be paying when you drive. But I live in like northwest London, and
What,
to get
Hendon?
to like central London, no, and we're not paying out my.
Oh,
No name definitely knows where you live.
No, you know
at
what? I
this
don't think
point.
No Name knows. I've never said it on Instagram before. So if
I'm just gonna reel off
No
the
Name
stories.
knows, if No Name knows where I live right now, that means No Name's someone I talk to like every day. Like
One of
really
your
and
close
truly,
friends trolling
in
you.
it, trolling.
You really
But,
said Harlesden.
Yeah, and so I have to go like across the top of London and then
Yep.
down into central when
It's
it
a
would
mad
be
thing.
easier to just go.
It's so mad.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But I can't complain because it's public transport at the end of the day.
yeah, and I think
used to
most of the time the public transport in London is actually pretty good. It's just those times when it really does let you down that you're like, right, sound.
Well, I always think like east to west is piece of piss, right? It's just like north and south are fucked.
Mm.
Yeah, facts. I don't like crossing the river.
No, but
I've
who
said
crosses
this
the river? You
before.
don't need to.
I don't like crossing the river. No, but
Yeah.
even going to Peckham, like what? I'm not really trying to go Peckham too tough.
Do you know what I mean? My friend offered me this flat in Camberwell, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna move to Camberwell. It's leafy. It was like on Burgess Park
There's a lot of land girls in Camberwell as well.
in it.
Oh, Micah. This guy's
Nah,
a radar for just baddies. This guy.
It was peng. But then I thought, why would I want to be south of the river?
Yeah, it's just techie. It's like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
And I feel out of place at the best of times. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, don't be crossing that river, mate. I like to stay on the other side.
The
Walk
bulletproof
around
goes on as soon as
Central.
I go over that river. Mate,
Yeah, I like-
I've got so many mates that live in like Croydon, and it's actually a joke. And I'll just say, babes, you live not in
Yeah, a
London,
lot of people live in Croydon too. It's cheaper, but like,
but it's Croydon.
To be
It's all
fair,
about
if
how
you-
cheap it is most of the time now, right?
Croydon is
Everything's
just so
getting more
far. Like,
expensive.
bro, if you live in Croydon, you might as well just live where I live.
no, bro,
At
allow
that
it,
point.
bro. Actually,
Nah,
At
he's
that
right,
point, if
he's
you live
right.
in Croydon, you might as well just live in Kent. There's no difference.
It's true though.
If anything, when I was going to uni, I was commuting from Kent, and it's a direct train.
Yeah.
Can you get a direct train from Croydon to King's
No.
Cross? Like,
no,
exactly.
no.
So
Well,
You're
it's like
changing at least 2 times. Realistically, you're getting the bus to the station, and then you're changing 2 times on the train.
no, you are.
Oh.
You literally are. It's mad.
Oh, I don't like Chelsea or Knightsbridge either. I never stepped to that. Southwest, awful, terrible, horrific.
Also, I don't know, maybe because this is like I've not lived in London that long, but like I actually think like Chelsea and Knightsbridge are sketchier than some of the quote unquote sketchy areas.
Well, I just don't understand why you go there. I'm like, I don't know what people go and do there. Like,
They drink at Bluebird.
yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like you can have no purpose and go to Central and find something to do. But if you have no
just have a
purpose and you go
wander
to
and
Kensington,
wander into
like
something.
you're just gonna be wandering around. Oh yeah, shisha bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing to do around those sides. That's
It's
true.
like
Lily.
Mayfair as well. Like I
Some
don't blame
Americans feeling left out.
Yeah, no, but they're learning about. We're teaching you guys.
You're
about London,
you're
to be
learning
honest.
about the sides of London.
Yeah.
the different parts of London.
Fulham is west. Fulham isn't northwest. Fulham is west.
Yeah, Fulham's west.
Yeah, someone asked.
Oh, yeah, but also it's like New York. If you live in the Bronx, you're not going to go meet people in Harlem.
Jeez, that's far.
I have no map
Oh,
of
you
New
are
York.
actually.
So.
I meant if you live in the Bronx, you're not going to go to Brooklyn. Sorry.
Yeah,
Again,
Brooklyn is
I know
basically
New York.
okay. So Micah, it's like New York is kind of like a straight line, almost like see it as like
New York's massive though as well. Fam,
yeah,
I
see it
swear.
as like you know the shape of the UK. The left side of New York is basically like the UK shape. Is really weird. It's just like one long line, and then to the right is more. So to the right, across water is where like you have places like Brooklyn, and then you go further. That's where like JFK
Okay.
is, like further that way. Someone said if you live in the Bronx, you have other issues.
Real.
That's jokes.
Crack.
Sold.
Anyway, guys, on that note, I think it is my bedtime now.
Henry, shout out your socials one more time before you go, bro. We need
The
to get your
lowdown on
subscribers up
everything.
today.
The lowdown. Let's
The
type it in the
lowdown.
chat. 'cause
Henry
it's got
makes
that little
YouTube
X in
videos.
it.
He makes regular TikToks, guys. His channel's actually
Thanks
really
for having
good.
us, guys. It's been great.
I hope you
Of
had fun,
course.
Henry.
Thank you for hopping on.
You've learned a bit
Right.
of live stream lore today.
I have indeed. Right. Cheers, guys. Chat to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Also, Duke, I've just seen you say about as a Brooklyn resident, I don't go to the Bronx, and even Harlem, babes. I went to Harlem and I was staying in Brooklyn. I will never do it again.
Lol.
It's so long. Like, unless you have an
It's
express
far.
train, like, what's the point?
It's far. Like it's just far.
Yeah.
Because
to
like,
come to
well,
New
if
York,
you're in
man.
Brooklyn and you go to the Bronx, you're just going north, but it's just far. Like, because
Also-
New York is just big.
Also, I feel like London is so relatively gentrified now, where it's like you can go pretty much anywhere and feel somewhat safe.
Yeah.
Wait,
like-
New York or London? Which one?
London. But then if you go to New York,
London.
you go down one wrong street and you feel like you're going to get killed.
No, everyone tells me I'd fit in New York.
You would.
Like everyone who's from New York. That's what they claim. I believe
But, like,
You
you're
would,
right.
but then Micah, you're streetwise. You're not.
Oh, I'm not even talking about on a street thing. I just mean like the culture,
Yeah.
the general culture.
Yeah, true. And I think part of the way you dress, I've told you this, is very more like New York like swag. Like you
Mm.
dress.
see
It's
that.
weird to say someone dresses like an American, but I do say you dress a bit like an American.
Word.
It's the hats.
I don't know what it is. It's just the whole.
You've not
I
curved
just
I just have confidence. I'm not humble like boring UK people who are too humble.
They
British
are
people
on
are
it.
too
You know what?
polite and humble. It's boring, man.
They're on a different wave when it comes to like backing
flexing
themselves.
and yeah. Americans know how to like talk about themselves. It's fair enough. It's why we're broke and they're not.
Real.
Because Americans know
Nah.
how to sell themselves.
Now these guys are using New York lingo to tell me to upload. Dead ass beat on my mama. You gotta upload. You heard? That's crazy.
Jesus Christ. New York. Have you not been to New York?
No, I've never. You know,
Mate, you need to go.
my good friend goes a lot as well. He's always saying I should come.
I
It's
love
just
it.
the flight. The whole like getting there is a mission. So
No,
I wouldn't
it's
want to
not,
go and
though.
stay for less than. Yeah, it would. I
Going
wouldn't-
to New
I
York
don't-
is cheap flight wise compared to
Two-
No, but
it's
it's
like
a mission. I'm
270.
taking like a day out just to travel there.
It's 6 hours.
No, it's 6-7 hours. It's not long at all.
Yeah, and I have to get to the airport how many hours in advance of my flight? 3 hours.
Yeah, but
I have to get to.
say-
It takes me 2 hours to get to the airport.
Okay, you're
So that's-
fucked, yeah.
Yes, it's a day out. No, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not. I want to do it, but I'm saying I wouldn't go for just like 3 days. I want to go to New York for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Babe,
And the
you'll come
opportunity
back
hasn't arisen
poor.
yet. Yeah, but that's part of the lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
Fashion.
like-
No, New
Sell-
York,
sell a
New
couple
York,
clothes.
New York is so expensive compared to London. It's not
Oh.
even funny.
No, I'd,
not
I'd
funny.
stay with a friend
Money-
for sure. I'd stay with a
I
friend.
was in New York for like what 4 days because of the Met Gala, and the way money was leaving my account was shocking.
You
Like-
blink and it's $200.
Like you're like, I'd buy this thing, and I see it. It's like, okay, this is $60, and I'm like, okay, cool. I go to the till, they're like $100, and I'm like, what? Where they're like, oh, state tax, this tax. I'm like, oh my god.
Man
And
said
then you
15
go to a
taxes.
restaurant, and then you're like, giving these like tips because everyone else is tipping. You don't want to seem like the bad guy, so then you tip what everyone else is tipping. And then before
I'm
you know it, I
sorry.
look at my bank account and I'm like, oh my God, like
I owe as well. Like the problem with New York, and this is what pisses me off about the tipping culture. I think it should be state by state as well. Like because New York, like people that waitress and stuff, they've got a high
Yeah.
footfall. Some of these like
facts.
people are making so much fucking money.
Mm.
Like my mate
Facts.
who like his girlfriend was like he was in the tech industry, which they earn like genuinely 4 times as much as the tech industry in the UK. And
Yeah.
she was working in hospitality, and she was like, I'm taking home like $6,000 a month.
What?
And I was like, how are you taking home $6,000 a month? She's like, I work near Times Square. I do 9-hour shifts, and like every table spends like a minimum of X amount. And I do X amount of tables a day. You work out the minimum. And I was like, fucking hell. Like, she wasn't lying.
Yeah.
I had a nice apartment as well. I was actually quite jealous.
Nah, the
Hey,
goal
the
is to move
blanket
around
New
those
York
sides
slander is
for a
out of
bit.
pocket. New York is half rich kid Disneyland and half cool people who are extremely broke, very little. That's like London, basically.
Yeah, to be honest. Especially London
It's
right
exactly
now.
the same.
London right
Yeah.
now is tacky.
London right now is just either you're sharing a house with 10 people or you're just like living in
A mansion.
Knightsbridge. Like,
Oh no, I can't name any names, right? But my mate, his ex-boyfriend, I was like, you know when you know somebody's got money, they smell of money.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, cool, whatever, like. And then he was like, oh, I'm gonna go home, and he was like, Henry's picking me up, and I thought, oh, he must be a mate. Anyway, it was his fucking driver, right?
Having a driver in the UK is insane. You have to be like a millionaire.
Well, his parents invested in one of the COVID vaccines.
Oh,
There we
go.
There we go.
Oh, so
You
that's
cannot have a
bread.
driver in the UK unless you're literally a millionaire.
That's
Like, it's impossible.
bread.
30 million pound mansion in Mayfair, and he has and they have an
Man
apartment
said you
in
just
the
spend
Lower
a
East Side.
2-2 on Pfizer, and next thing you know, you're up 200%. Oh, GG.
Mate. And he's been doing it since the 90s, like on these like drugs that go wild. He did it on the PrEP, which is used for like HIV prevention.
Yeah,
and it's gone,
yeah. Oh, so.
What the hell?
yeah, mate, so
No, but
much money.
the bread and pharmaceuticals is different, though. The bread and pharmaceuticals is genuinely just different.
And they would take
completely-
trips. They would be like, oh, I'm going to like Mykonos, and we're going on the yacht. And I'd be like, oh, you're renting a yacht? And he's like, no, my dad owns it. I'd be like, excuse me? Because I was looking at chartering a yacht. Chartering a yacht, like minimum you spend.
Wait, why were you looking at China yacht?
Right, don't even talk about it. It's fine.
Micah, all I know is, Micah, I just want to be a baker.
I don't get that inside joke. You're the next Gales.
No, it's that's an insider thing. Billy says, I know there's certain Yo-Yo students that have a second house just store clothes. Oh my God.
When I get to that level, I'm going to be chilling.
I have so many stories about that. Like, oh my God. Like, I bless her. I have a really good friend that I went to school with in CSM, but one time I found out that like she bought a house. So I started talking about mortgages, to which she responded, what's a mortgage, Io? And I was like, wow, okay. So you just bought the house in cash. Okay, cool.
In London.
Cool. You literally don't know what a mortgage is. So like buying a house with a mortgage was never something you even considered because you're just that rich. Okay.
Nah, there's this one person from CSM who's in second year, and I only know them because I went to their party, and we walked in the house. I was like, why have you got a print in black and white of Jill Sander? And he was like, put your hand on the table. And I put my hand on the table. It was cocaine.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
They had like split it into shapes to make it look like Jill Sander the person.
They made a Jill Sanders sculpture out of cocaine.
Like,
That's
just
so
like
insane.
you know, those etch sketches, and you shake it and it goes away. Honestly, I couldn't believe it.
That is insane.
His
Oh my
party.
god, no! CSM was just a movie. Some of the kids that go there, it's just like these are literally going to be people running the fashion industry. They are not serious.
There's too many, yeah, and also like a lot of them are not going to go and work in fashion. A lot of them are just doing a degree because their parents forced them to do a degree, and they thought, I'll do something creative.
Yeah, true. Some of them don't even want to work, to be fair.
And they don't have to. That's crazy.
No, the game's the game. The game's really the game.
A win is a win.
For real.
It's because sometimes I'm in my own world, and like obviously, when you are not around people that are that rich, it becomes really weird. Like I remember one of my friends at CSM, she is quite open about the fact that like she doesn't need to work, but the way she says it, I'm just like, wow, there's actually people in this world that genuinely don't need to work.
Yeah.
Like she was like, no, like my dad's company makes millions residually. Like I don't need to do any
Why
work.
would she? Why is she saying this though? Or like, is it
I don't know why she's telling me that. No, it's not. I think for her, because I know her. You know, when you're so rich, you're just out of touch with reality. So you almost think that everyone else makes millions. So you don't think that telling someone that, oh yeah, my dad makes millions in residuals is like a crazy thing to say, because that's her social circle.
It's her
You know
life.
what I mean? So people
I know
just
niggas
like
that, so
they lose like self. They don't. She doesn't have the.
No, you just get lost in.
It's
the same as being lost in the
source.
sauce. Yeah. It's like when you've been talking to your fashion friends for ages, and then you talk to one of your non-fashion friends, and you tell them about how you bought a coat for £1,000, and they're looking at you like, "What do you mean you bought a coat for £1,000?" And like it's the same thing, but just like a.
So my ex went to a funeral, right? And he was like, I don't have anything black other than Rick Owens. So he wore a full Rick Owens get up to this funeral, and the Undertaker asked if he was the new intern. As like at the funeral, the funeral parlor.
Oh my god!
And he was like, "This is a £10,000 outfit."
Also, but wearing full Rick Owens to funerals, like I mean, it's a statement.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like the crazy shit. It wasn't heels or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's a no kiss heels inside of the funeral.
Oh no, this is fact. So basically, when I was at CSM, we started fighting for lecturers to take into account people's personal circumstances when they're marking our final project. Because some kids, they would literally go to like the same tailors that Balenciaga used to make their clothes. And then there's other kids that have to work 2 jobs and then try to sew their stuff in between. So it's just not fair. It's not, you're not judging on a fair playing field. It's just not fair. Or like, for example, when I was in school, I started a GoFundMe so that I could afford to go to Turkey to film my documentary, which was my final project. And then I literally had someone else who literally had a whole film crew. Like, how? What am I supposed to compete with that? So we were fighting for our lecturers to like take.
You should
that
just
into
know
account
more
when
rich
they mark
people,
our work.
obviously. Why don't you just know more rich people? Come on.
and this is why there'll never be another Alexander McQueen.
Yeah. It's true though.
Talking of McQueen, what's going on there?
No comment.
He's going to be out next season. We all know it.
No comment. They just dropped. Did you see they're dropping a documentary on him?
Are they?
Oh no, I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking. That's Sabata that they're doing the documentary on.
Oh, that's on Mubi, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I think to make us like him more.
Okay, because I'm like, what is the document? What are you going to talk about?
Plain clothes.
Being a designer at JW Anderson and then a few collections at Gucci. There's not enough there.
A few? You mean like 2?
More than 2, but still a few.
It's 3, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's 3.
No, but I think the documentary's done.
Yeah, it's already out.
Yeah,
Wait,
so I think there's only going to be 2 in it.
idea.
Is my point, because obviously they just showed not long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Mubi. I think you can get it now, or it's coming out and it's been premiered for some people.
Yeah.
I don't know, Sabato, man. I don't know what he's doing. I was going to talk about that earlier, actually, because like that cruise collection
Good lord.
actually shook me because there was nothing English about it. So why did you do it in England? There was like it just didn't
Their
even feel
excuse
Gucci.
was that I get it. They said that essentially because obviously Gucci got his inspiration for his brand working at the Savoy Hotel, so there's always that UK connection. They'll always find a way. It was a bit of a reach the way they worded it,
Then
but
do
they'll
it at the
always find a
Savoy.
way. The campaign was at the Savoy, to be fair.
Oh right, fair.
Yeah, the campaign was at the Savoy.
I just feel like I don't know if the clients are reacting to it. Like I see a lot of influencers in it, but then they're not buying it.
Yeah, and they got
Exactly.
paid to be in it.
And it's like, but it's not cool clothes. Do you know what I mean? Like I know that's not what they're looking for, but right, Alessandro Michele got old, but what he did do is create buzz,
Mm.
and like I think he did very well was like he was able to translate Gucci to any demographic. Like you could be inspiration. Dapper Dan is a really good example of that. Like how he involved Dapper Dan into the Gucci world to be like, yeah, and all of a sudden then it's like Little Kim, it's Missy Elliott, it's whatever. Like everybody wants a piece of that sort of old school hip hop New York vibe. But then you can also buy a suit from Gucci that's plain. I don't know.
It just looks like, because the problem is when you have those silhouettes that aren't interesting. Like if you're going to do tailoring, you have to do tailoring differently to what. Because Gucci silhouettes are literally the same as like what I could find at like COS or like Arquette, but just better quality. No, but it's true though.
It's true. I actually think
the fabrics are better.
I think Jill Sander has a really. No, let me start again. You look at things like Jill Sander, who is synonymous with minimalism, and the brand was meant to be minimal. But then you look at the most recent collections, last couple, like 4 collections, and they are so maximalist. And the reason why they're maximalist, in my opinion, is that COS does minimalism better than the minimalist brands do now. Do you know what I mean?
And because the price point is just better at this point, it's just like, it's like.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the levels to the minimalism as well. Because obviously you have that like the like Bottega type of minimalism.
This comment, I have a lot to say about this. So a lot of the rich kids I know, especially in fashion, are not great at like if they start brands or whatever, because they're so used to just paying their way for everything, and it gets to a point where you can't pay your way. So I'll give you a good example. Because I went to school in Nigeria, I know a lot of like all these like rich Nigerian kids, and all of them like have a fashion brand or have like some sort of creative outlet of some sort, and they never work because they don't really know anyone in the industry, and they're not building the way that someone that has a brand would build, like getting to know certain people, going to certain places to network, being around certain circles. They just think that between them and their rich friends, they can build enough buzz and desire for everyone else to buy it, which doesn't work. And so their brands just then become a brand for them and their friends, and it never really goes past that.
Lagos be crazy for that though.
Yeah, Lagos, there's just so many brands that are just only known within upper class Nigerians, and that's it.
What's that? Is it the orange culture or something like that? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, orange culture is one of the
Yeah, there's like orange culture, and it's like I remember my ex was like, "This brand is huge." I'm like, "Huge where in Nigeria?" Because I've never heard.
Yeah, orange culture is
So
no, but that's true though. Orange culture is only big in Nigeria, but that's because orange culture once again is like one of those brands that. But even when I was thinking of at least orange culture is like bigger than the brands I'm even thinking about.
yeah,
I'm thinking
I know
about
what you mean.
Yeah.
Brands that like it'll be known by like the person who makes the brand and their 10 friends, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And they'll pour in like exorbitant amounts of money.
Yeah.
God, I've not thought about Nigeria in a while. Fucking hell.
He's like, since my Nigerian ex and I stopped talking.
Nah, he started talking to me again recently, you know?
Oh shit.
Is it? You
I
caught
couldn't
his
believe it.
attention.
Well, yeah, he broke up with his ex. They have a mortgage together.
Huh?
They have a mortgage together. Oh no.
It all kicked off. And then I was like, why the fuck are you traveling around the
Uh-oh.
world and you haven't got your partner with you? And he came back and he was like, oh yeah, we broke up. And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. You've got like an investment property and a mortgage. And he was like, yeah, but it was in my name. And I was like, there you go.
That's worse.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's basically like kicked
That's
somebody out.
worse.
Rich
Oh my
Nigerians,
word.
man. We're looking at 2 of them. I'm joking.
That's funny. You're looking at 2 of them. But yeah, that's how it is. This also reminds me of when I was at CSM, because like you'd have these rich kids in class. Like, for example, I remember when I was in CSM, we'd just have projects, and like the lecturers would always be alluding to the fact that like I'm well connected in like some weird way. Like they'll be like, "Oh, we don't need to tell Io because Io knows blah 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 and blah blah blah." And then some of the people in my class would be like either rolling their eyes, or I would say I would give someone advice and I'd be like, easy for you to say, Io, like you know this person and that person.
Doesn't
And
make
like
it easy.
I want to say something, but I'm just like, let me not say it. It's too much realness for like CSM. They're gonna start crying because all the kids in CSM, they're too sensitive. Because what I would have said is that, first of all, you're rich, I'm not. Meaning, if I was as rich as you, I would actually be further in the industry. Like you, the fact you're rich, you should be the one in that position, not me, because I get invited to an event in France and I can't go because I can't afford to go to France. So I just don't go. Or like I might get invited to somewhere in London, but I live in Kent and I'm broke as fuck. I don't even have money to go on the train to get there. So I just don't go. Like, however, if I was rich, not only would I go for all these things, I could nurture certain relationships even better because I could always be everywhere because money is not like an issue.
You're literally describing the PR industry in London.
Like literally, that would literally be. So when they just start yapping, I'm just like you don't know. It just makes you look bad because you're the one with money, not me.
Yeah, and also it's like, I don't know, I didn't have connections in the industry. I had to make them myself. And it's like, I'm not from a rich family that can support me to live in London on minimum wage. That's why I had to leave. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, just because I was full-time at John Luca, and like the minute I stopped going full-time, I was fine. But then I don't have that security of being like, yeah, this month I'm earning 5k, but next month I might earn nothing. You know? And it's like, or whatever the case may be, you know. And I just think, if I'm able to do it, if you're able to do it, then why can't other people? Like, we literally have social media in our pocket. The most connections I ever made were in social media.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it even happens now. Like, okay, a good example, even this week, what day is it today? Friday. So, like, I live in Kent. For people that don't know, I don't live in London. The reason I don't live in London is I can't afford to, literally. So there's like events that have been going on all this week, some of which I really want to go to. But the problem is because London is like semi-far, I have to make a day of it or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So if I go to London, I can't just go to see one person. I have to do loads of things all in one day. And if that's not possible, then I just won't go. So like I have friends who are like launching magazines. It would be great to go and see them and like go to the launch, but I can't make it. And it's like it kind of indirectly affects my relationship with these people because they get sensitive because they're like, oh my God, like you don't come for my stuff. It's like, it's not because I don't want to. It's just because I can't.
You can't justify it.
Exactly. And that's like a barrier when you're not like rich or like you can't just like live in the middle of London and have easy access to everything. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like in CSM, there are so many kids that just don't understand like real life realities.
It's like the J-Dubs event that was on Wednesday. at Dover Street. I got invited,
Mm.
and I was like, I can't justify to come in and not get paid. Because I was like, my mate works in the PR team. I know JW, like, whatever, right? So they were like, oh, we'll give you a bag and a pair of shoes that you can wear. And I'm like, that doesn't pay my rent. Like, I can't just show up. Like, I'll send fucking Jonathan an email saying, sorry, I couldn't make it. I'll watch the movie on, like, at home. Like, the only difference is like, I'm not getting a photograph taken of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then it's like the day before was the Dazed party, the Dazed exhibition. And was it Days Gone By or whatever? And I was meant to go to that, and I was like, I just don't want to, because it's like, yeah, it's cool. If I lived in London, then I'll just swing by and then I'll go home.
Yeah.
But like, I can't afford not to be paid. And it's like, oh, actually, I've got so much tea about that. So the Jonathan Anderson party, they were like dressing a load of celebrities, because obviously it's AIPR and they love to dress people. And they wanted to dress Phoebe Philo's daughter. And they'd sent her loads of options, and Phoebe literally replied to AIPR being like, these are 6 selections. Like, Phoebe got in on the call, was like, these are 6 selections. I've not seen a PR like pull these good looks. And her modeling agency was like, you're not paying her enough and we don't think it fits her image. And Phoebe apparently was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, she doesn't have to earn money to go to an event. She lives in Ladbroke Grove. And her, you know, her mum is literally Phoebe Philo, and her dad is an art dealer. Like, it's not like she has to worry.
Yeah.
Mad.
That's funny.
I see stuff like that a lot, though, in terms of like your modeling agency is like being like, it'll be like a sick opportunity, and the agency being like, oh, we just don't think the rate's enough, like, and I'm looking at the opportunity, like, I don't know, it seems like a pretty good opportunity to me, mate.
Happens a lot in Fashion Week. Like,
Yeah, it does.
One of my model friends, like, I tried to get him cast for Jordan Luca because he did the season before, and we really liked him, the boys really liked him, whatever. So, like, I've been nurturing those relationships with different models, and basically Tom Ford was doing fittings during Men's Week, but they showed during Women's. So they got him under exclusive, being like, oh yeah, we're going to have you on the show, like, be our fit model. So who's his fit model? And then his agency was like, oh, he's doing Tom Ford now. Like, he won't do Jordan Luca. Like, it doesn't fit the vibe. Comes to the show, they dropped him. Imagine. Wow. I was like, well, that was 600 quid you just lost.
And for what?
For what? Keep an image. And it's like, surely the models can get to choose.
An image.
But that's what I said earlier. A lot of people in fashion are more concerned with how they look rather than like the actual reality of what's going on, which I find really weird.
But that goes on both ends. That's for consumers and for producers.
Real.
Because think about how many people buy fashion to look a certain way that they can't even afford.
Me.
But don't you make it harder for yourself? Like, for example, I wear this same zip up in every live stream and no one cares. Like, people think people care about all this stuff, but no one
but you've
cares.
also cultivated an audience who just don't care. I think the people who like have a different Birkin in every video, people probably are gonna comment if they wear the same outfit twice.
True though.
Then that's on them because they force themselves into a brand where they have to wear this like new Birkin every time.
And yours is just in a cold wool quarter zip.
Yeah.
It's tough, to be fair. I think so, anyway.
It's like the stream fit.
Yeah. I kind of get it from a personal perspective as well. Like, I remember when I lived in Manny, I had quite a lot of money for my age. And like, Manny is cheap.
Well, especially up north as well.
Yeah, but now it's not cheaper, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I'm assuming you're talking like at least 6 years ago, right?
Yeah, like 5 years ago, yeah. Like,
yeah. I remember how much it was back then.
And I was paying, like, honestly, I lived in the center of the city, like old warehouse conversion. It was sick, and I was earning good money, and people would expect me to wear a different outfit.
Who?
No, it's just like because I built a kind of a name for myself to wear like
Oh, okay.
Comme des Garçons or Rick, and then people were like, "Oh, I've seen that
Mm.
before," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm not made of fucking money."
No, even if I have 10 million in my account, when I fall in love with an outfit, I like to wear it every single day. Best believe I'm wearing that shit every single day. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm only going to get my coffee and bread. Like, fuck off.
right, I'm gonna stalk your Instagram, Finn. Do you post fit pics?
I do, but I
have you-
haven't in a while because I just stopped.
Why? That's valid. That's valid. Fit pic culture fell off. To be fair, I miss it though. I miss it very greatly, actually.
Do you know what? I
Right,
keep bringing up
some
my
pieces
ex,
came
but
so
he is
much
so good at fit
expensive.
pics. It actually pisses me off.
What, taking them or posting them?
Both. Like he will. I remember he would be like, "I'm gonna lay on the ground
Yeah.
and I'm gonna look dead, and I want you to reduce the." He was like, reduce the exposure so much it's gonna look like I'm rock climbing." And he literally did. I was like, "You didn't do any editing." He was like, "Yeah, I know." And he used to get on, like the grey old fit pics.
Yeah.
He used to get on there.
Back in the day, that
all
used to be clout. To be fair, back in the day, that used to be clout.
I wouldn't fit in YSL skinny jeans. Let's call a spade a spade. I definitely wouldn't fit in that.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing the vision, Finn. I'm seeing your swag.
I've taken a lot down though. I've taken a lot down recently.
Oh, okay,
like,
you have pieces.
Making says, because I'm a journalist, you'll be surprised. I know a lot of journalists that like they're on that wear a different thing every day, and they're trying to be like influencers.
Julia Hobbs.
Lol.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
Finn
guys.
is
Finn's going crazy.
Olivia Singer.
Finn said, "Let me put the Stefan Cook with the Simone Rocha, Chunya Watanabe, and the Kana Namiya." Bloody hell, mate.
I have a friend in college. Her goal was to go 2 months without wearing the same thing. Lol, such a shallow goal. That's an interesting goal. Yeah, Leo just wants to look at the prices because he knows I'm going to start laughing. Leo just wants a comedy show.
I used to wear like a lot more of my pieces. I kind of stopped. I was like, people don't need to see.
No, I've been in a phase recently of wearing the same clothes every day. I love it though. There's something familiar.
I have that argument with Micah all the time because Micah's like, you always
know.
get new stuff. Why don't you post fit pics? I'm just like,
No, but you're just a dickhead, bro. You should just post fit pics. I don't understand what you think's the world's not gonna blow up if you post a 2-2 fit pic. Like,
yeah.
But why do people need to know what I buy though? I don't understand.
It's
like,
not
why
about
is it
knowing what you
important?
buy. I just want to see how you dress.
Yeah.
No, I feel, to be honest, I do feel you because it's like, how many pictures? I'm just looking at my Instagram now. I've got 89 pictures. And
No, but you don't understand. On Io's Instagram, he has 2 fit pics, if that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to say is it came to a point where I was like, you're only seeing the clothes I want to share. Do you know what I mean?
So,
But
yeah.
like, if I could post a fit pic every other day and have something different in there, but it wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't going deep in lore. Did I get the LV turtle keychain?
Yeah. Hope
Find out
wants to know
in 2
if
to
you
3
got
weeks, guys. Find out in 2 to 3 weeks.
Do you know what? I bought an LV keychain. It was the
Please
crab
don't be
one.
the one I wanted. Please don't be the one. Oh, the crab. No, I want the. I'm getting. Oh wait, actually, let me show.
Leo,
But the crab
do you know
one's
what I'm
cool, I
actually gonna
guess.
do? So I just started Discord for my Patreon, and I opened like a tab for fit pics. So maybe I might just start slapping in fit pics there.
Wait, Finn, did you pay full price for the crab?
No.
Fair enough.
I'm not paying full price for anything.
But it just came out, no?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just more plugged than me. Clearly.
My friend works at LV in the design team.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, actually, talking about that, I did get given a pair of sample because he works on the Nicholas Gasquet side. He is head of jewelry for them, and
my friend's about to work under him.
Oh no way!
Yeah. He just got an internship with them now.
What, with Matthias?
I don't know, but it starts in like 3 months and a 6 month internship straight out of I want to say LCF or CSM. I forget what uni is that.
He's amazing. He was head of jewelry for Celine. Like, he's amazing. And couple of seasons ago, he did these jewelries like made out of trumpets, like look like trumpets, and he's given me a full 5-finger set of these like trumpet keys rings.
Cool.
That's so good, and a brooch. And I was like, man,
That's
I'm never gonna wear
cool.
these.
Damn. See, guys, I need to get on Finn's level so I can purchase all the swag that I require.
Or just get given it.
Yeah, well, whichever.
It's like that's an option.
If as long as it ends up in
That's
my
another way
wardrobe,
to
I'm
do
not
it.
complaining.
Or just steal it, to be honest. That's what I do.
Oh yeah,
No.
Leah said I joined the Discord. Nobody's talking. Yeah, it's because it's new. Like everyone is like, I feel like people don't know what the temperature is. I first need to notify more people that it's actually there, because compared to the Patreons I have and the people in the Discord, it's very little people in the Discord. So I need to do a better job of letting people know.
How
And
much
then,
is your
yeah, we'll get the
Patreon?
ball rolling. £3 a month.
Oh, do you know what? I'll do your subscribe.
It's less than a Big Mac.
It's less than a
Is that how
coffee.
you advertise it?
No, I'm just playing. I've never said that before. I'm just
It's less than a double
Ooh.
espresso. I'm not even kidding. Gotta get mate, Leo. I was just in New York, mate.
Yeah, literally.
He was on that meta thing.
Yeah, Meta have been nice to me
Yeah, it's
over the
because
past like year or so.
you actually post.
The thing is, you say that, but like, I post an Instagram reel maybe once every 5 days.
Oh, you need to
Like, I'm really inconsistent. Like, it's really bad.
Why don't you just clip these? Do you record your live streams?
Yeah.
Then why don't you just clip your live streams?
It's just like the time it takes to clip them into
Is this
shorts, I'd
Burberry
rather
then?
use that and clip them into like YouTube videos
Yeah, it is.
instead.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
nice.
I could though, but yeah, it's just one of those.
It's the last look from the most recent lookbook. Yeah, you should. Like, I mean, it's probably not going to give you anything money-wise, and it's going to be time-heavy. But
Mhm.
in terms of algorithm, it's going to be better for you.
True.
Because let's be honest, like the live streams are good because you get a consistent audience. But if you don't, either not on the time zone or can't be bothered to listen, you're not going to watch them.
Yeah, like a lot of people just are like, literally, I'll just wait for the clips because I can't sit down for like hours and watch you stream, which is fair enough.
Have you been posting the what's it called? Oh, the Google Reels, whatever they're called.
Google Reels?
The YouTube Reels.
Oh, like YouTube Shorts.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't really do YouTube Shorts frequently. I do sometimes, but it's really rare. Really, really rare. I should, because I post a lot on TikTok and like Instagram, but not on YouTube Shorts. So maybe I should more.
I see you on TikTok so much, and sometimes I just flick away because I'm like, babes, I don't care.
That's fair enough. Because most times on TikTok, I talk about the news stories. So what's like,
yeah, because it will be like
newsworthy.
Hanan, Ilyas all in a row, and I'm
yeah,
like,
and we'll talk about the same exact thing. Exactly.
And I'm not even going to talk about Ilyas. It's fine. I'll get myself into trouble. It's a bit too. Maybe it's a bit too close to the bone. No, I will.
Do I know him?
Huh?
Go on then. Go on.
What's his at? What's his at?
Lyas.
Okay, yeah. He's been rolling around London recently.
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
He has.
I didn't know that.
Bumped into him and
he came to London a few weeks ago. He did Show Studio, and he basically got invited over for Show Studio Best in Show. And then he like sticked about for a bit. Anyway, he came to Milan and we dressed him, whatever, and like I became really pally with him. And he started flirting with one of my colleagues, and I was like, "You're definitely gonna fuck." And anyway, he invited
Is
all
he gay?
of us. I think he's bi.
Oh, okay.
Is he? I thought he was gay, to be fair.
He says he's bi. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. and he was like, "Oh, come to mine, come to mine." We're like pre-game because we had this big rave and whatever. We like showed up, and one of the people from our PR agency at the time, which shall not be named, arrived, and this guy arrived, and apparently Ilyas was like, "Oh, I didn't want you to come," and shut the door on him. Can you imagine?
So
Wow.
Can you imagine traveling all that way, and then you get there, and he's like, "I actually didn't want you to be there."
Wow.
I would just invite them in anyway.
Well, yeah, like that's crazy.
Anyway, that was the tea. He's a very nice guy.
That's-
Other than that,
That's crazy.
But-
This stream got more
yeah.
tea than Tetley's.
real. God, this is the tame stuff, guys.
Yeah,
I feel like
mean,
people don't realize how fucked up fashion is.
no, it's
Yeah,
fucked
to be
up.
fair.
I mean, for some reason or the other, some stuff, obviously, being a journalist, I can't say. Then other stuff, I guess I choose not to. But genuinely, if someone just like unlocked my brain and just slapped it on the stream, people would be shocked.
You can tell I've got ADHD
Okay.
because I've just got no filter.
I have exactly 320 bags of tea in my cupboard right now.
Actually, true, because I bought 210 packs of Yorkshire tea,
Where'd
best
you
tea
get
in the
that?
country. I can't remember. You know, they sell them in 200 packs in some places. Though it goes a long way, does the job.
Wow.
Damn.
Are you a tea drinker as well?
My brother is.
Oh,
I'm a coffee drinker.
why not yourself?
I just like coffee.
Coffee, guys, it'll have you bounce
Yeah,
off the
I've
walls,
never,
whereas tea,
I've never been a coffee.
tea is more
guy.
mellow and sophisticated.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? Finn's not sophisticated.
I
I'm
just like
saying,
espresso.
the coffee has me off the walls, mate. I'll be
I
up
ju-
till
I-
flipping Saturday.
I'm trying to cut it out because, like, living at home at the moment, and I have like a proper coffee set up, and then I'm like, I'm drinking
Oh,
3 or 4 or
Mm.
5 a day, and I'm like, that's 10 shots of caffeine.
How do you ever
I've never
sleep?
been on a coffee date.
I don't.
Like sleep? I don't do that.
Industry's coffee and cocaine.
Fair.
Do you know anyone named Tristan? Not sure the spelling, but we had a mini talk about fashion. I mentioned you. Do you know what his surname is? Because I know quite a few Tristans, to be fair.
I feel like Tristan is the most American name.
I know a lot of Tristans, like a lot.
Any English?
One of them's English from London.
It doesn't sound like a very London name, like at all.
It's not at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
His name's like Parker. That's the most American name ever. Parker.
It's very American. Or like, what's another American name? Chad.
Parker.
Yeah, so true.
Fisher. Like all those kind of names.
Did you say Felicia? Oh,
Well,
I was like,
Oh, is
Felicia,
Hope
that's
saying
actually
Hope is saying shock us because I said that if someone unlocked my brain. Yeah, you'd have to unlock my
that's
brain.
techie. That's techie.
You'd have to unlock his name and like make him not work for the bigger brands.
Techie out.
Tyrone. Tyrone is a lot of black people in the UK called Tyrone, to be fair.
Are they?
Taylors. Yeah, there's a lot of Taylors in London. Taylor.
Tyrone just reminds me of.
Oh,
fucking
Tristan
Rick
Cole. Yeah, I know Tristan Cole.
Oh,
Everyone knows
Tristan
Tristan
Cole, the
Cole,
model. Yeah.
everyone knows him.
I know Tristan Cole. Yeah, Tristan Cole.
To be fair, Billy, I'm tired as well. I might have to exit the stream with you.
Yeah, I think we might have to call it a day, mate.
Right, have fun then.
Great
I'm getting a
stream, though.
wee bit
Thank you
sleepy.
to all the urbans. I can't even sleep because I need to. I'm presenting to Luxottica today, and to be very honest, I haven't completed the presentation, so so that's a bit sticky. Oh, Billy, that's peak. That's peak.
Big up, Billy. Billy, add me to the list as well, mate. I'll swing by.
Billy,
I'll put some of their clothes on cam.
Billy, nobody should be invited in Bliss Foster anymore, so it's fine.
Uh-oh.
Actually, on that note, I'm going to bed. Like,
Anyway, love you guys. Talk to you later. And see you guys later.